Whoa, what's going on here? Whew,
What was that?
whew. I don't know, man. I'm sending it to you right now, though. Whatever it is.
This is great. Here we go.
All right.
Practically every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove.
We don't want you to smoke smoke the real thing. One of the smoke natural. Sweet. Some call it marijuana. Sweet. Some call it sesame. Sweet. Some call it Amsterdam. The tea. And some people call it.
Welcome to another edition of the Adam Dunn Show. I am your host, Adam Dunn.
I'm Dave Charnick.
And we are almost back. We're so close.
So close.
Last show on the road. This will be the last show on the road for me. Dave's already back. He made it somehow. I don't know how they let him in, but they did.
They have to let me in. I'm a legacy.
Legacy, yes. And I am now in Amsterdam, back home in the dam, which has been very fun for the last week. And we got some stories, man. We got stories. We got a lot of remembering. It was pretty good. I went and saw Soma. We did all sorts of good stuff. So we'll get into all that. But we also have Hash Crew coming on later, who are doing the hash wraps. And if you're not familiar with hash wraps, well, let me see that. I sort of did a long time ago, and now it's becoming a real thing. So it's blowing up. Even Rosin Dog's doing it. That's how crazy it is. Even Rosin Dogs is making it. And we also have Hashtek from Canada coming in too. They were at the show, interviewed me for Jason from Hash Wraps because they wanted to get to the bottom of all that, which was very easy. Just come ask me, right? And we'll be talking with them about their products. The Hashtek guys, they have amazing looking sort of tabletop 6,000 gram setup for extraction or for washer, like a nice stainless washer, and I was really impressed. So we're gonna talk. I talked to him about sponsorship. He said, I was like, "How much is it?" He goes, 6,000. I said, "That's the perfect price. Let me talk."
Yeah, that'll get you half a year's advertising on the Adam Dunn Show. So we'll take two, and you can prepay the whole year.
That's even better. Better. Well, since he's listening, he can start thinking about that. He may not come on the show now that he knows that we're trying to
that I'm going to ask him for two.
We're gonna finagle him for more, but no. Yeah. It's actually funny because when I got there and I was standing in the booth, I was like, wait a minute, I don't know if I talked to him directly, but I'm pretty sure I did because I was looking into the exact same units about maybe 6 months ago or something like that because I was shopping for something. But and let's see who else we got. We got Terry's gonna call in, my former right-hand man there here in Amsterdam, and I went to our place where we have 20 years of random shit just clusterfucked into a room, and it was pretty fun. I found some good stuff. I was only there for a short time, but in that short time, it was like time capsule shit. And I was like, oh my god! I even found a Tai Power hash maker from the 70s, which I have, and I saw that Odie posted a picture of one and was talking about finding them in garage sales occasionally, and I was like, well, I think I'm going to find it. And crazy enough, I found it literally at 420. It was fucking nuts. I was like, it's 420. I open a box and I go, ha. I have the photo even to prove it, which is crazy. It was like one of those, like, what? No way. At 420, you find the one thing you're looking for, your one hash maker.
He did not. Crazy. Yeah, I asked the French hash maker to join. He could not right now because that would have been fun seeing him. He has a DAB-X in France, and he just posted on Instagram. So for anyone out there, go to El Professors, okay, and take a look at him posting a DAB-X dab with a little too much water and on red. And so don't critique him.
pop these pictures up, Mark. This is what I was talking about. So the first two are the actual Tai Power, and then this third one is the proof of the time I found it. I had to quickly take a screenshot of the moment in time.
So yellow things and the weird, like.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Hold on.
Yep. Anybody
sure.
who's a hash guy from the back in the day who read High Times will have totally recognized this, or a weed guy, because it was in the back cover of High Times for years. And it's crazy because it looks so freaking crazy, but then when you actually have one, you realize it's literally a light bulb that sits below a little cup, which is held by two little wires, and you put your product in that like crucible type thing, and it heats it up literally with a light bulb.
It's an easy bake oven for cannabis.
100%, and it works. and Odie says he's going to. I'm going to try to get it to him. I didn't get this. I didn't send it this time. We're going to have Doug wrangle it out for him. But so it's Tai Power, and the top part is basically where the condensation builds up on the inside of that thing, down the tube, down the middle, and then it drips back down into this little crucible thing. So it's very interesting. It was like one of those things where I never understood it until I actually had one, and then I was like, oh, well, that's a lot of. What
do you mean by when you say Tai Power? You mean it's got a plug on it for Thailand? Oh.
Nope, that's the name of it, Tai Power Inc. If you look on the thing, it says ISO 2.
Right.
Tai Power Inc. So it was basically, it was an isomization unit from back in the day, because if you read Cannabis Alchemy, you'll see that there was a lot of isomizing going on, which is basically the same concept of making hash oil.
Got it.
Speaking
of hash oil, I did get to sit down with Mila for a little bit in Amsterdam. In Barcelona.
Yeah.
Gave her a dab X. Actually got her to take a dab off of it.
Okay. Yeah.
She liked it. We'll see if it becomes something that Dabadoo wants to have regular. So wait, I mean, should we even go through the whole Barcelona?
Yeah,
before we move on,
Telescopic.
Telescopic had a question. They were wondering if you knew what the name of the single screen stainless system from back in the day was.
Single screen stainless system? What are you talking about? Like just a regular dry sieve hash thing?
I guess so. I don't know. That's the question. What is the name of the single screen stainless system from back in the day?
Oh, you mean? Oh, yeah. It's called the XL420.
XL420.
It's from XL420 from Reinhardt.
I will take useless cannabis information for 1,000, Alex.
That's a good one, though. That's a good one, right? Reinhardt. So Reinhardt, he patented hash making as it is. Like, this is weed. This inside of water. We have a screen. Pay me. Right, that's how he got it, and he got Bubble Man to pay, and he got Mila to pay, he got everyone to pay. So it's kind of crazy. So that machine, because that machine came out, and in around, I believe it was around 95 or so, or maybe about 94, 95, he brought it to Amsterdam, and he was going to do a demonstration. He left it at this guy Bill Barth's house. And Bill Barth called me up and said, hey, I got this machine here. You can have it for the next 24 hours. And I was like, okay. So I took it home and basically ran with it and figured out that, it was pretty simple. It's a screen. It has a bladder which comes down, like looks like a triangle-shaped bladder that goes down to a tube, which has a valve on it. And you close the valve and you mixed all your weed on top with an electric mixer, like the old school style. And then you'd see the hash falling down down in the bladder. It was actually really cool because you could put a flashlight behind the bladder and see the hash falling. Uh-oh, it's Terry.
Come on.
It's fucking Terry.
Live from York.
Live and in person.
Yes, sir. It is.
Live from York. Old York.
Old York.
Can you see me? Can you hear me properly?
We see you and hear you.
Absolutely.
We see you. We hear you. You're all there.
If you turn your phone sideways, we'll see more of you.
What I'll do is I'll sideways.
Yes.
There you go.
There you go.
There you
Perfect.
go.
Now we can see all your artwork behind you. So Terry, as I explained earlier, was the right-hand man between what years, Terry? 2003. Exactly. Okay.
So he was your bitch in 2003?
He was.
Okay.
He didn't like to be known as that, but he was. Yes.
I just went to his LinkedIn page. It says Adam's bitch, 2003 to 2007.
Does it? Oh,
Does it?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow. That's crazy. I didn't know that. But I just sent a photo over to, let's see, I sent a photo and I'm sending a video to the show right now of the room that Terry left me with. You did a good job. You did a good job. Yeah, if you watch on the show, I mean, I think not on there you won't see it, but if you get on the show.
You see, what the problem is, I've got...
Yeah, I know. There's always a problem.
What I do is I have
Welcome to the Adam Dunn
live...
Show.
Hello,
this
thank
is
you.
our story of our life. Story of our life. But yes.
So
Terry,
what
Terry
in
was
my
supposed
studio
to...
I always have the live satellite link up of the ISS space station going around the universe.
Nice. How's it doing? Where's it at?
It's
live.
The projector isn't linking at the moment, so let me figure it out.
Gotcha. So Terry was supposed to be here today, helping me out. It was going to be a big celebration. We were going to be going through all my old stuff, but unfortunately he didn't make it. So I just basically tackled what I could, which was not so much. I got one bag out of there.
So what about the bobblehead?
I'm sending a picture to you, right? Pull the picture up, Mark. I just sent.
Is it the bobblehead?
Yeah, it's the bobblehead because it has a signature on the top.
Oh, that's. Do you know what? That's
oh,
not
you
the
suck,
bobblehead.
Mark.
Oh, it's not the bobblehead.
So basically, what happened is Arjan gave me a bobblehead, and he gave me a. Has it got weed in it? That one.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Is there any? That's Arjan's haze. So I went to the greenhouse one night, and you know what Arjan's like? He loves us, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, no, he didn't. I saw him at the show, and I came up to him at the show, and I said, "Oh wow, look, I can't believe you're copying me still. Now look at you, you shaved, you're all clean cut like me." And he got all mad. He was like, "This guy." He couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe I was still insulting him straight out of the gate. But that's
so you found the bobblehead that he gave to me. So he actually gave me a bobblehead and signed it. Yeah. And he put some weed in it, and he was like trying to show off and all that, and I was very honored. And the original bobblehead, the prototype, I've got it. With the certificate.
Well, yeah. I was looking for the certificate. I couldn't find it, so I didn't find the bag, didn't find the certificate. So I realized
because that's the problem. Because if I want to bring it back to England, I can't have like a bobblehead with weed in it because they're going to find it.
Oh my god! I don't know. That weed did not look like weed anymore. It was red.
Well, it wasn't weed in the first place, was it?
Do you have that picture, Mark, of the bobblehead? Can you pull it up?
I've put it up like 3 times already, but here it is.
Oh, I can't see it. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. No, it's up there.
I have to look at the show. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that was much cleaner than the original one, huh?
Yeah, the original one was a prototype, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. So we've told the story on the show before, but basically, Arjan made bobbleheads back in 2005 or something like that, or 6. I don't know. But it was ridiculous because anybody who makes a bobblehead
the king of cannabis
is ridiculous, right? So
winner of every single cup in the whole world.
We found out from our friend Alex that he was about to do this before anybody knew that he was doing this. And I was like, wait a minute, he's doing a bobblehead? And then Alex said, I'm going to get it for us. And so he basically convinced Arjan that this Japanese collector wanted to get his bobblehead and pay him. Originally they said $5,000, but of course it was negotiated on the side to around $1,800, I think. But he, we had the Japanese guy come in and do the whole spiel, and he 100% fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. So it was one of those proud moments of our lives, I'd have to say, knowing.
Yeah, we made a few YouTube videos as well.
Exactly. It was and this is the funniest part of the whole thing is that the guy contacted Arjan and told him that he was Yakuza and that he's not allowed in Japan anymore. And so Arjan did not go to Japan for like 10 years because he thought that the Yakuza was after him for the bobblehead.
And do you remember the samurai?
Yes, sir.
There's a samurai beheading, isn't there? Do you remember?
There is. And but the crazy part is that nothing to do with us. Somebody else stole one, remember? And like he was all freaking out and had posters around town, like missing bobblehead or something like that. You remember this?
Yeah. Do you remember the bobblehead with the other bobblehead from the grey area?
They had a bobblehead too.
They had a little doggy bobblehead. Do you remember that video?
Mm-mm.
So basically, I was really drunk. I had no idea what was going on. I ended up in the grey area, and I got Arjan's bobblehead and the little bobblehead and made a little video of them bumming each other.
Oh my God. I do remember.
Yeah, you remember now.
I do remember that.
And I do not remember doing it, but it was me. And someone put it on YouTube. Yeah, it's on YouTube somewhere.
Let's find it.
It's somewhere. It's on
your thing. So, well, what else? You had another story you wanted to share with us. I remember you telling me.
Which one?
Snoop Dogg video or Snoop Dogg?
What, the leaf blower one?
No, we've gone over that.
The bottle of vodka one.
The which one? The bottle? Yeah, the bottle.
No, there's a few. There's too many Snoop. Which one? Come on.
Terry's responsible for many stupid stories. Put it that way. Let's get that clear. No, you said you wanted to talk about Snoop Dogg something, stealing bottles or something, or I don't know. What was it? What was the story?
Well, we used to go backstage all the time, yeah. And Adam used to like when you go backstage. There's like it's a fantasy world, and they have salt and pepper shakers and all sorts of stuff, and basically when they've gone, you can grab it and take it. So
do
you remember?
I take my backpack in there and I'd fill my
exactly. We went to Lowlands. Do you remember the Lowlands? It was Lowlands, and I think we had a Corona full of beer. We had a fridge full of Corona for us. Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
So they arranged a fridge full of Corona, and we were backstage, and there was like all the like gangster sort of Snoop bodyguard people and stuff, and you ended up putting a bottle of hooker in your bag while Snoop was playing, and all of a sudden these dudes came and go, "Where's the bottle of hooker, man? Where's the bottle of hooker?" And I was like, "Oh shit!"
I claim the fifth. I'm claiming the fifth.
Here we go. And I was like, "Oh no!" And you put it in your bag, and basically. It was like it was a really tense situation because we were just sat there and like, who the fuck are these guys backstage? And we've got a fridge full of Corona, and you'd already nicked the bottle of hooker before they come off stage. And basically, I had to basically slyly get it out of your bag and pretend to find it and save the day. And it was like, oh my god, you found it! Thank you. Oh my god! But it was really intense. It was really intense, But that's what alcohol does. It makes you do. Alcohol's just the worst thing. It just makes you do things you just never would do.
That's why I don't drink anymore, Terry. You see,
that's why I don't drink.
Well, there you go. That's the we don't drink story of the day. Why we don't drink.
So we achieved like infinity beer status. So wherever we went, we just had beer continuously, and it just
what is
became
infinity beer status? What the fuck is that?
Well, that's where we go backstage, and there's just like a constant supply of beer, and you got to drink it.
You were taking advantage of the fact that they had an open beer bar backstage, or beer tavern, or whatever the fuck they call it in Amsterdam. Beer boat.
Do you remember Jane's Addiction?
Barely. Which Jane's Addiction?
I think it was when Willie. Basically, Jane's Addiction was playing, and. Basically, I think Willie drank all the beer in the fridge, and before they even played, and he was on stage complaining, saying, "Someone drank our beer before we even played." So yeah,
sounds about right.
Yeah, that's how we used to live.
That's how we used to live.
What are you shooting right now? What was that?
I don't know. It's some.
What's that?
Oh, that was some tea, some chai tea.
Oh, boo.
He's not. He's not drinking. He's not drinking. He said so.
This is
I thought he was
this
gonna
is some
fall
sort
off.
of vape, runts or
Of course, everything is runts.
everything's runts nowadays. Where's the THC MK Ultra pen?
Well, we still have MK Ultra growing, so we haven't do with pens. We're not really interested in pens or just flower, but you need the MK.
We need to create the ultimate device, like the DMT MK Ultra one-hit wonder.
It's right here. It's right here.
Right there.
You're missing the ultimate device right here. DabX. Tell him, Dave.
What is it?
It is the greatest dab rig you've ever not tried.
Is it so this dab thing? Is it rosin or is it H2O?
Whatever you want.
It's whatever concentrate you want. It's just a complete sort of revolutionary change on the direction the vapor and the reclaim go. So in a Puffco Carta, they use the banger style, which Telly, who is a BHO artist extraordinaire, Jedi Knight level extractor.
No,
he explained this to me, okay? BH no, whatever.
That's what I say.
When you take a dab out of any rig that has a banger on it, whether or not you take a 5-second dab or a 15-second dab, or it was, a tenth of a gram in there or half a gram, it's schwagged. You get one hit out of it, and now it's mixed with reclaim, and you should not be second dabbing that. It's bad. It's not like finishing a bong hit, okay? You just got to clean it out with your Q-tip, and that's the end of it. This device changes that whole concept because the concentrate sits on that pad right there, and
what's it made of?
It's ceramic. And it slowly drips down the side to where it's then vaporized, and the reclaim goes straight down, and the vapor comes straight up. Never do they touch, so every hit's a first hit.
Okay, cool.
Yes, sir.
And according to Adam, every single person in Amsterdam wants one right now.
They do.
Well, I'm in the UK, and in the UK,
and all the reclaim
people use plastic bottles.
See this? This is like a little piece that goes inside. And so the reclaim ends up here, but it's really good because it's easy to get out. You don't have to scrape it out. You just pull it out, drop it in the freezer, and pop it out. So it's very good, Terry. You missed out. You're missing out.
I prefer full trichomes.
Yeah, I mean it's obviously dry sieve is the way to go for sure if you have a choice. But
the thing is, right? I think I've got this. If you vaporize the trichome, it releases a gas. It's like if you ignite a balloon, if you had a balloon and you had a lighter, it sets a flame off. So then that gas is being ignited. So each trichome, when you pop it, it does something. So if you keep them intact and then vaporize them, there's an extra bonus. So I'm from the Trichome Preservation Society. And
card-carrying member.
I'm the founder of the Trichome Preservation Society and the owner of it, and I think trichomes should be preserved, and the ingredients should be released with it's like an explosion. Instead of the lighter, the flame. So that's where we used to do hot knives. Do you know hot knives?
Yes. Of course we know hot knives.
So hot knives was exactly. So hot knives created a different effect because you basically it went through you. You didn't go into your lungs. It went through your head basically, and just it was like when you have some sort of menthol and it opens your sinuses.
Are you talking about doing hot knives with hash from back in the 70s and 80s, which was 30% cow dung?
Yeah.
That was what the menthol flavor was.
I'm talking about soap bar. I'm talking about the worst hash ever.
That sounds terrible.
That's what it was like. That's what we got. And but I've had some spiritual experiences from the vaporization going through your sinuses and through your eyes. It activates your pineal gland.
Oh,
hold on, Andy's stirring the pot in the chat, and he's. Are you trying to take credit for founder? That really should be Adam in the Trichome Preservation Society.
I'm the Trichome Preservation Society. Well, Adam inspired me. So I actually saw Adam on TV when I was at school.
You finally gave him some credit.
Yeah. Man.
So when I was a kid, I was at school and I was smoking weed and stuff, and there was a TV program called Pot Night. It was like back in the 90s. There was 4 channels on TV: BBC One, BBC Two, ITV, and Channel 4 was the cool one. And in 1995, when I was like, I think I was 15 or 14 or something, it kept advertising this whole night of television all orientated around cannabis. And
we showed it a couple weeks ago when you told me about it.
Exactly, yeah. Wow. So when I was a kid, I was like, what is cannabis? Wow, it's amazing. And there was no education or anything, but this TV program came on, and I watched it, and it was this Scottish guy going around all the coffee shops, and he was basically going to his shop, and he was giving him some money, and they give him some cannabis, and it's like, wow, it's not a crime. You don't have to go see some heroin addict with an injection going in his arm or a gun, or you don't have to enter that criminal network. And I was fascinated with the fact there was a parallel universe where you could actually go smoke some cannabis. And I remember watching it, and there was this guy, and he got a coffee jug, and he poured some green stuff in it, and he spun it around, and basically spoke a bit of Dutch. Went, yes, you mix it around, and then he got a coffee filter and poured the green slimy water through the coffee filter, and then squeezed it, and goes, "This is the best hash in the world."
I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, but also there was this other guy, and he was giving out bong hits and like telling him to hold it in, and I was like fascinated, and that was my ambition.
And then
guess what?
Tell him yes. Tell us how you.
15 years later, I realized that guy was Adam on TV, and I didn't know all along, and it was just it was a weird moment in my life.
And it was at that moment you wanted to be his bitch.
Yeah.
No, I was his bitch before.
No, he was.
This is long
after.
This is long after bitch times.
He didn't even realize it was me until after.
I didn't realize, but so imagine
what color was his hair?
To be an astronaut. It was green.
I had long hair. No, I had long hair there.
I can't remember. I think it was green. It was funny. It was funny because my ambition, when kids want to be firemen, the kids want to do this, the kids want to do that.
Oh, if you say you wanted to be Adam Dunn right now, we are cutting your connection off.
I didn't want to be Adam Dunn. Do you know what I wanted to do?
You wanted to dance.
I'll tell you the truth, right? So I was at school and I was doing my exams, and in England you get this little desk, a wooden desk with a little hole in it to put your ink in, and it lifts up because back in the Victorian times, they used to write on bits of slates and stuff. And I was sat in my exams, and I was thinking about the cannabis cup, and my friend says, "Oh yeah, there's a cannabis cup, and you can be a judge." I was like, "Oh wow!" And I imagined a desk with like a pipe and different samples, and a room full of people sat in a exam room with and that was my vision, right? I remember thinking that at school, and that's what I wanted to do, and then that's what I ended up being, and I'm very proud.
There you go, the story of Terry. I'm sending the video because we've already watched it before, but in case that way, Mark can pull it up. The video that you're just talking about, Mark. 35 seconds in. Boom.
Okay.
Boom.
I'll mute it so we don't get hit again.
What are you gonna do?
Get in trouble.
Oh, what? There's nothing in there. No
I guess it did. I don't know. No, I think this.
We got dinged on that video. There's no.
What video is it?
The one you're talking about.
You said 35 seconds in.
Yeah. The pot night one.
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh, the
you're
Bubblehead one,
actually
yeah.
Guy Fawkes? We just saw your mask.
Never mind, we're good.
Oh, you're fucked.
He is.
Guy Fawkes is from York.
High.
in there. Usually I just
He's
like
from
to smoke
York.
the best.
Papa Poopy. Fa Fooey.
The way this challenge works is it's basically a bong
Yes.
challenge, a bong being a water pipe, water pipe being the best way to smoke because it filters the smoke. Simple procedures, 3 parts. Basically, it's burning. On the second one, you clear the chamber by pulling this out. It mixes air.
My hero.
And then you hold it for 10 seconds, and then retain your composure for the remainder of the minute. Exactly. Which means no coughing, no acting, rambling. That was an eruptomatic there.
Yes, Eruptomatic.
You like that? Eruptomatic? Did you like my Eruptomatic?
Oh, man. You see,
Eruptomatic.
imagine a kid, imagine a child watching that on TV.
Oh, it feels good though.
It's very euphoric.
There's Jeff.
And you can feel very nice.
I got a good rush right after taking that.
Feel the energy moving in the middle of your body.
Do I know that guy? I feel like I've met him.
I hope my health insurance
The guy you call Jeff.
Man, what's funny is you know everyone in the video.
Yep.
The funny part is Bernard.
Yep.
He was the first coffee shop owner. So he sort of pioneered the cannabis world. Like, he just went for it. He just did it.
Yeah, well, Vernon was awesome because, like, even though he was obviously not making the best hash in the world, I mean, that's pretty apparent. But he was smoking pure, which I loved. But what was really weird with him was his concept was that because it's pure, you can rub it into your jeans. I don't know where he came up with this idea. He's like, yeah, you could just rub it into your jeans. It's just weed. It's no problem. It's good. And I'm like, you are a walking ashtray at this point. You know what I mean? Like, you're just rubbing ashes into your jeans. It was really weird. I don't know where he came up with it, but he would do that all the time. It was weird. And it was like, he was proud of it. You can rub it in your jeans.
Do you know what?
Yeah, but
I had a conversation with him once, and he tells me, he goes, I wanted some oil off him to give to my granddad. And I was because I'm a vegan, right? I was like, so what do you feed your plants? And he's like, fish oil. I was like, all right. So how long do you flush them for? He goes, I don't flush them. I guess, why not? Nope. I just let them go green. And it was really weird that he doesn't flush his plants. He's just so old school. He just has his own way, and he just never will change.
Yeah, the thing is with Werner is that his grow shop was literally 1 block from my first house that I lived at in Amsterdam, and he had the whole street. Like, literally, he was in one shop, then he bought next door, then he got next door, and he took the whole street, and he just put doorways in between each place, so you would walk in one end of the street and pretty much come out the other end, right? So it was not a very smart idea because he got ripped off so bad there by people because all the people knew they could just walk in one side and walk out way down the road up the other side. And so there was people stealing from him, and then his employees were all stealing from him. And it was just kind of crazy.
He's a lovely guy. He's like, he's got Dutch in him, so there's a lot of conflict going on.
It was interesting though. He definitely had a lot going on at one point, but he was building his own lamps. And he was building everything from the ground up. The thing about Holland, which was made me jealous of America as far as growing goes, was that everything you had to do it yourself. Like, they would hand it to you, and you'd be like, "Okay, so what do I do now?" And they're like, "Wire it up." You know what I mean? And so you have to figure out how to wire up relays and wire up all sorts of stuff. Come back. So it was definitely plug and play in America. I had a Green Air control box, and I was like, I couldn't use it because somebody left it from America and it was a 110, but I could show it to people and say, I want one of these, you know what I mean? And nobody, everything in Holland was still very archaic almost, you know?
Yeah.
And but that's also why he was getting ripped off, is because he was building his own lamps, and then people were just taking parts and everything. It was kind of out of control.
Everyone just rips everyone off in Holland. That's just the way it is.
I know. Yeah, no, especially in the cannabis sort of world, I saw that People took advantage of Ben, and they took advantage of Bernard, and I'm sure they took advantage of all those guys along the way.
Everybody rips off everybody everywhere. Anything. If you don't lock it down,
why would we just be honest and truthful and stick to our word? Well, I blame it on alcohol.
Yeah, alcohol's one factor.
Thank God we're not doing that.
Alcohol makes people make the wrong decision, and they don't go back on it. So because they're drunk all the time, they just can't admit they were wrong, and it's like, so when you stop drinking, you don't have that anymore, and you suddenly realise the whole world is fueled by alcohol, and these decisions are being made, and everyone's just basically making the wrong decision.
Well, that's you Brits. The drunkest people we've ever had on the show.
Well, yeah. They get drunk, wake up in the morning, and they're still drunk.
No, actually, they were Americans and Italians, I think, because we had Willie. We had the Havalar on, and we had to turn them off because they just were screaming and yelling.
No, wait. We didn't turn them off. We muted them. They were a lot of fun to watch.
Well, they were muted, and they didn't know they were muted, so they were just continuously talking the entire time. It was awesome because
they were interviewing everybody in the bar.
Yeah, they interviewed everybody in the bar, and they thought we were like all, religiously watching it, which was obviously not happening.
So where else did you go in Amsterdam? What else you been doing in Amsterdam?
I went and saw Soma. We did a
podcast. How's it going?
Guess what Soma's doing?
He's got a kid.
9.
He's doing a podcast.
9 kids.
He's got his own podcast now. He's got the Soma podcast.
Can we get Soma on? Did you invite him on?
We've had Soma. At this time of
do
night,
we have to?
Soma's not going to come up at 12 o'clock at night on the show. He's not up to that. But no, I went on to his thing, and it was funny. It was they handed me first. They sent me a list of 10 different subjects that I was supposed to somehow follow or something. I was just like, I go, you don't really know how I do stuff, do you? Because I'm definitely not gonna. He goes, oh, that's just all AI. So he basically asked AI to write a bunch of questions for me, and they were like, they looked like AI questions. They were like, I was like, damn, these are some deep fucking questions. I don't know where we're gonna go for these. I was like, I'll never answer these.
Yeah,
but
so Soma, I don't understand how does Soma reconcile doing a podcast that gets uploaded through satellites that circumnavigate the globe? How does he reconcile that? I
don't know.
Yeah.
We didn't get there.
You didn't go there with him?
No.
Come on.
I glanced a few times, but I didn't really go deep.
It's when you set me up when we were in his living room in 2021 or something like that. Was that when it was, or 2019?
No, 19.
It was before the plague. We were there in 2019 before the plague. I sat on a fucking cushion on the floor for 4 fucking hours, having to play it straight as Soma explained his flat Earth theories. And
listen, do you know? I'm so happy you brought that up, right? So. I love it. So guess what, right? I don't know if you can see this.
You're a flat earther too?
No. You see this?
Okay.
Can you see?
have the International Space Station going on.
Can you see that?
Not really. It looks shadowy.
Not really. Looks like a.
But you can see that. You can just basically you can see the Earth, right?
And the curvature.
That's the curve.
That's the Earth. That's basically live Earth right now.
No, it isn't. Not according to Soma.
Is.
You're making it up.
That's my point, right? And do you know what's even better? Tonight, I was sat eating my chips, and I was looking at the moon, and all of a sudden, it went past. And I fucking saw it go past, and I've even put it on my Instagram. And you can look at my Instagram, the Medicine Man Art, and you can see
fake news.
The International Space Station go past. And I actually went onto the app, and then I looked at the map and took a screenshot, and I made a post. There it is, there it is, there it is. So it's not a fucking weather balloon. And there's the footage. You can see yourself. It's like, come on, flat earthers. Get over it.
It was good. It was a trend. It was trending for a while there.
Listen, do you know what it is? It's a red herring, right? It's a red herring.
Good idea.
It's a red herring, and I feel sorry for people because people people who are conspiracy-minded, they go look at these conspiracies and then they throw something in there that discredits them immediately. So,
the birds you think you see flying in the sky are actually government surveillance drones.
Exactly. But
when I met Soma in like 91, I never really had a conversation with him other than, how much did you want? I'll take that one. Great. And bye.
Yeah, I'm not really, I gave you these clones and you grew it and I don't really want it.
He wasn't giving out clones back then. That wasn't happening.
Soma's a good, I love Soma. I've got a lot of respect for him.
He knows Soma from back in Eugene, Oregon, though. He knows Soma from before he even went to Amsterdam. So that's what's funny is that Dave used to buy weed off of him before he got to Amsterdam.
And Glenna, but mostly off of Glenna, the person living in his garage, because she used to just keep it in big jars, and I could just walk in and weigh it out myself and leave money, and I didn't have to see him. He was a little fakakta back then,
used
too.
to like my hash. I respect him because he knows I made the best hash, and I did the best I could with whatever it was.
He had some pretty nice hash. I was impressed. But it's funny because I got there and the jars he had in front of him were runts.
Yeah.
Fucking, it was just crazy. I was like, what? Permanent marker. But he didn't. I go, oh, permanent marker. I have that cut. It's not, I'm not really that impressed, but hash is okay. And then he goes, oh, that's what that means. Like, he didn't even know what PM was. He's like, what is that? But I was like, oh, permanent marker. There you go.
Well, just to back up 2 minutes.
And he had Gelato 33. Gelato 33. I was just like
he had the greatest. He had the greatest weed in Eugene back in 91, 92. I mean, but it was well above anything else that was coming in from California or wherever. So, I mean, really, props to him. He's been doing it right for a long time.
Soma is a legend. I love him. He's a god.
Well, the best part is he's always got good weed. That's for sure. There's never been a time I've seen him with shitty weed. So that's testament to somebody who just loves weed, right? So
hello, Soma. I love you.
But yeah,
what about Steve?
I went to Katsu. That was fun.
Yeah.
I got some photos I sent already there. Did you see those photos, Mark?
Yeah, you fucking showed off. As soon as I sat down on the plane, I get a fucking text from you showing Dr. Greenspoon and some hash from Katsu. I'm like, okay, shout out to Al.
It was again, like, yeah, Al was there the first day, and then I went back and saw Oppie and John, which was great. And so John is the first guy that I ever sold weed to in Amsterdam, like the first shop that I ever brought weed into, and fucking made it was a 5-way that I had from that same shit that AJ posted about fucking picking up or whatever, it's like the same time period. And 5-way was like an early Pearl skunk Northern Light hybrid. It was really good, fucking fire. So but it was just funny because I went and saw those guys, and I brought the Dabex in. Pretty much it rocked everybody's world in there. They were all just like, holy fuck. Like he was like, this is not even hash. Like he couldn't even imagine, because he was looking at, the best they had, which I liked, was their Charis, and, it would melt in your pocket and smear across the thing. So it was like, all right, that's still fire. But those guys are awesome. You have those pictures, Mark, or no? You posted them or not?
Did you go see the nose?
I talked to him, but I didn't go see him because he was already retired. He was retired for the fucking.
He's not retired.
For the night, I said. For the night. He was retired for the night. He was like, I'm on my couch. And
I love Steve.
I could tell by his voice it wasn't happening. But I still have tomorrow, because I leave at 6:00 tomorrow, so it means I have to be at the airport at 4. So
are you going to go on Jim's boat?
No, I'm not this time. It was crappy weather this time. It was all rainy and shit.
It doesn't matter weather. It doesn't matter what the weather is. You got to go on the same. So basically, Jim, he does pure boats Amsterdam, and we all used to go on his boat, and it used to have a diesel engine from a 1950s English bus, and it used to spew out black fumes and kill everyone on the canal. And then Jim was he was designing super yachts at the time, and I kept saying, Jim, come on, make it electric, blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden, he just did. and he's got a fleet of boats, and they're like super yachts on the canals, and they smooth along electrically with champagne and all the trimmings. And guess who was on his boat? President Obama was on the same boat. Same boat. President Obama was on it. And it was like, come on. And
was he taking bong hits?
Well, we were. Yeah. We've done everything in that boat. So imagine what we've done on that boat, and then President Obama was on it. And like in America, if a president went to a burger store, that's like, yeah, Lincoln came to this burger store.
It was widely known that he smoked a lot of weed in college, and that's when he went by Barry.
Yeah.
Obama admitted.
Have you seen his movie? Have you seen the movie?
No.
What's it called? Something About Tomorrow.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
Well, it's listen, that is it's the weirdest movie ever. Right. And I couldn't believe he made that movie, to be honest. It's like, talk about MK Ultra.
Very much so.
It's full on MK Ultra.
A lot of programming in that one.
Apparently it's got 4 layers of sound. So there's subliminal sounds going on in the background to, really get you.
Nice. You gotta love that.
What are we talking about? I missed what you were talking about. What has 4 layers of sound?
The Obama movie, something about.
Well, I can't remember what it's called. That's the funny part. I actually don't know what it's called.
Because they shot you with those waves.
But he's wearing an Obey t-shirt. Have you seen the Obey t-shirt and stuff like that? Like, you guys on fucking there's all sorts of stuff.
They made you forget. They gave you forget serum.
Yes. Well, I don't want to focus my energy on it because if you focus your energy on it, then you
leave the world behind.
That's what it's called. So what happens is it makes you paranoid and think it's going to be the end of the world. But if you just think of it could be the end of the world, a meteor could come and smash it into pieces at any second. But until then, well, I'm going to enjoy myself and carry on. So you don't need to worry about anything. What is that? Just get on with it.
Okay, so, that was the point of the movie. Obama made a movie, and that was the point?
No, that's my point. Just get on with your life and enjoy it. But if you focus on these like scenarios of it's all about the frequency radiation attacks. So the little kid's teeth fall out, and it's really evil. The way it's a nasty movie.
What the hell? What? I thought you were against all the conspiracies. Now you're spewing them. Yeah.
I'm not against anything.
I know he's a total conspiracy.
I'm the conspiracy. There's no such thing as a conspiracy, is there, Adam?
Let's go straight into the Beatles now. Let's go Beatles because you're there.
The Beatles conspiracy. Come on. Yes.
Come on. Terry's deep.
So did Paul
John's
McCartney
still
die?
Alive? What?
Did Paul McCartney die?
What?
Is Paul dead?
No.
Of course.
No.
How do you know? Is the Earth flat?
No.
Yes.
Right. So
yes, all yes. No, he's definitely been replaced.
There's something about the Beatles, right? Like when I was a kid, I would love the Beatles, and they inspired me to take LSD and everything. And
well, there you go.
Exactly. And well, look, I'll show you my artwork, right?
We could pull the Obama and ask for the birth certificate.
Look at this. You see that? Is that the Beatles or what?
Oh, yeah.
Well, can we get back to how John,
where's Paul's birth certificate then? It'll be like Obama. We need the birth certificate.
I'm not going to say anything about it. You just have to do your own research. But the Beatles records tell you.
Yeah, it's on Abbey Road.
The actual
1966. He was in a car accident.
The guy himself tells you he's not the real Paul over and over again.
It's true. It's all true, man. Rabbit hole, Dave. You need to go down that rabbit hole, Dave.
Okay.
Look, rabbit holes. You see that?
Billy. His name is Billy, right? His name is Billy. The guy's name is Billy.
There you go. Can you see the rabbit?
Sir Paul McCartney, who is walking around right now, is not really Paul McCartney. It's really Billy.
He's not fucking Paul from Liverpool, mate. No, he's not.
He's not. He's not. He's his name.
There's a whole blog. There's a whole blog. Paul is dead.
That's just my opinion from my observations and my experiences. I've never met him. I don't know.
I would rather it be a better conspiracy, like John is alive, living somewhere in Hawaii.
That guy.
Well, do you know what? John's not alive, is he? Because he had a big mouth and he got shot. So you got to be careful.
So there's that.
There's that.
So that's why I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
I just say what I think. I don't say it's the truth. I just say this is my opinion. This is what I've seen, and this is my experience. You can have your own interpretation.
Yeah, but there was a time period you could get away with shit like that. Nowadays,
now you can't.
But back then, you could just definitely. And the funny thing is it's the guy who won the fucking the lookalike contest, basically, right?
That's it.
He did a lookalike
William
contest.
Campbell or Billy Shears.
Billy Shears, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing. The Sgt. Pepper cover is the funeral.
That's right.
And if you do facial recognition with Paul, if you're an anthropologist or you've got some sort of recognition skills with your eyes, so you can see the distinction of people's features. Like Paul's ears are different, and Paul's teeth are different, and Paul's nose is different. It just don't add up. So what they've done over time is they've got the old Paul pictures and they've manipulated him for the new Paul. So you can't. That's what's going on at the moment.
Terry. So a friend of ours, his name's Andrew. In fact, his cousin is Cheddar Bob in the chat right now. Okay, just posted a photo on Instagram because almost 10 years ago, he's like, "Hey, will you introduce me to Adam Dunn?" And they took a photo together. If you put that photo of Adam 10 years ago next to the guy sitting on Zoom right now, there are some people who would say, no fucking way are they the same person.
But if you have facial recognition technology...
They would see that. They would see it.
If you have facial recognition technology, then it's the same face. That's what passports are about. That's what it's about. So back in the day when it was the 60s and all you had was TV and postcards and stuff, people were fooled.
I am the walrus.
Cuckoo. Mr. City Policeman sitting pretty little policeman in a row. Yeah.
Oh, there
so
goes.
All that stuff. When I was a kid.
I was close, Cheddar.
All that stuff when I was a kid. Strawberry Fields. If you watch Strawberry Fields, that's the first. Strawberry Fields. He's got a fake mustache. And if you if you reverse Strawberry Fields, it says nothing is real.
Okay, then. Anybody else have a good conspiracy theory that you want to talk about on the Adam Dunn show? You just zoom on in right now.
There's plenty. So
we don't want to go there, but that's what it's about, you know. The Earth is round anyway. That's the only one. The Earth is round. That's the
only one that's true. Everything else.
Do you know how to? Because basically they say that this is their excuse. If you have a puddle of water, it's flat. Yeah. Water's flat. That's what it does. But then water's not flat because when it's falling from the sky, it's a globe. It's a drop.
You don't say.
Exactly. And then that just confuses them and makes them really angry.
Or maybe like no, well, I mean, they are responsible for really introducing LSD to the masses who weren't in the Grateful Dead community, right? In Britain long before the Dead were doing acid tests. So I credit them. And if Paul is, a clone or a robot, I'll thank the current Paul for exposing me to some really good music. And some really good LSD.
Exactly. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah.
We love you.
Yeah. I'm going to find Mike Denver and give him such a pinch soon, just so you know.
I like Ram.
You like who?
Paul McCartney's Ram. That's my favorite Paul McCartney album. Anyways.
What?
Live and Let Die. I like Live and Let Die. I actually saw Paul McCartney play. So I went to Glastonbury and I watched it, and I was, I experienced it. Do you remember when we saw the Sex Pistols, Adam?
Yes.
Oh my God, that was a good one, wasn't it?
Do you think boofing acid would make it come on quicker?
Adam's like pleading the fifth.
It's a question from the chat.
It's like, yeah.
I'm trying to do 3 things at once here, actually.
Yeah.
I got 3 things.
It's the Adam Dunn show.
Pleading the fifth is one
it.
of them today. Yeah.
Oh, I'm 100% pleading the fifth on that one, for sure.
Adam, have you boofed acid before?
What's boofed?
I don't think you want to boof acid. I don't think that's
What's
a great
boof
idea.
It's when you take it through your prison wallet.
Anally inserted. I'm sure people do, but it's not really my style.
No, I'm not into that.
Dave loves boofing. That's why he's asking. Dave's all about it. We told Dave about it. He didn't even know what it was. Now he's all about it. Now he's like a big advocate.
I'm a big boofer.
He's a big boofer. He's a mega boofer.
Mega boofer. Are the Nuggets on tonight, Mark?
No,
I think my children are watching this show, so hi to my kids.
No children are watching this show. We're shadow banned, and we have an 18+ thing, probably.
Yeah, but what if they're watching their mum's phone?
Oh,
that happens?
There's ways around it. There's ways around it. You was the kid and watched 18s, didn't you? Restricted videos.
I've heard Adam's stories, and I'm pretty sure that Lenny will agree with me. He wasn't ever a kid. Maybe from like up until 6 or 7, and then after that
feral.
it was.
I was straight feral.
Yeah, he went straight on to into the woods.
Me too.
Our generation. Everybody did. We all grew up really fast.
I know what you guys found in the woods.
Stupid ones didn't make it.
Porno? Rotten pornos?
Yeah, that's right.
Rotten pornos. Yeah. Under
pornos.
Rotten pornos underneath pieces of wood or something or some random. Oh, look at that.
Yep.
Boobs.
We ran the
boobs.
Yeah.
We ran the
woods.
8mm. We found
porn in the woods.
This dude's dad's projector and running 8mm on the closet wall. There you go.
Wow. You were an 8mm guy? That's pretty old. That's pretty old.
Wow, I think I really pissed Mike Denver off with the hair comment earlier. It's okay, buddy.
What'd you do? He's all over you now?
Oh, yeah, dude. He's been digging in. Good shit. Oh.
I still like the greatest Mike Denver comment ever, for those of you who want to go back and listen to an old show, is when he sat down next to us at Meow Wolf, and Rosendogs asked if that was Mike Denver's sister, or who the hot chick was sitting next to me with the nice hair. But you're still dead to me, Mike Denver, and Rosendogs.
Oh man! Oh
so
man!
Cramped.
So pull up the book there for us. I want to show Terry how his boss is now a legend.
You was a legend before. Do you remember I asked you who that woman was, and you said it's me?
Which one in the book?
In Rob's book. I said, who's she? He goes, that's me, you fucker. And I was like, all right.
That's right.
Sorry about that.
But
no.
Did you just say fucker? Oh, now we're done. They're gonna pull us.
Can't do that.
I didn't. I was trying to ring Adam up before to ask if there was any sort of
no,
you can't say fuck
you want.
or
you can
fucker.
Fucking swear.
All right.
Not swear.
All right. So
I can take. This is my Blue Lotus with monatomic gold molecules in it, and it opens your pineal gland and gives you serotonin and amplifies whatever you're on.
I got this book cover up.
What? Wait.
There you go. So check that book out, right, Terry?
Which one is it?
Can you see the show?
He can't see the Zoom. I mean, he can't see the YouTube.
I just saw it. I saw a split second of it. It's a nice trichome picture.
Nope. It's the Grand History of Cannabis, the Dutch edition. That's what it's called.
Oh, liquor.
It's very liquor.
Did you write it?
No, I did not write it.
Look at this guy right
now
here.
Pull the other picture.
Who did the artwork? It looks like Crumb.
It's very crummish. He's really good. His name is Mossy Giant. He's here.
Oh, Mossy. I like Mossy. Mossy's a legend.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome.
Somebody in the chat knew who it was too. just by looking at it.
Yeah, and look at that. Look at that old. They made me look so old, dude. I'm looking.
That's funny.
I'm looking a bum. A bum.
You can
Wait,
tell they
that's
got
not Tommy Chong. That's you.
You can tell. You can
That's
tell.
me.
Do it again.
You can tell.
Are
they
you
got
sure?
It.
I am.
Whatever.
And of course I'm sure. Go to the next
We
picture.
go to the page.
It describes me with the picture next to it, so it's it's.
Hey, I've got an idea. I'll get rid of the satellite image of the Earth, and I'll get the Adam Dunn show on my computer. Give me a second.
There you go. That makes sense.
There you go.
Jesus.
Carry on.
So you find that other picture?
Read it.
You can prove it.
Yeah, it's,
prove it.
Adam was a young man, just 19.
Adam, in that photo, it looks like you boof straight lard.
Totally absorbed in cannabis culture when he landed in Amsterdam.
Adam gets the best weed in the world. That's my personal. That's my criticization for Adam. He gets the best weed on the planet.
Everybody looks like that in this book. When you look at everybody, they look wacky and weird. I just look extremely. Everybody looks really stoned, which is good. Mila, I mean, come on. If you see the picture of Mila.
Oh, Mila. Oh. I love Mila. Have you seen Mila yet?
Does that look like Mila to you?
A very young Mila.
No. Yeah.
Where's Ed? Where's Ed Rosenthal?
This is the Dutch edition. I don't know if he's in here. Ben Drunkers is in here. I remember. There we go. But it's he put it out for sale today at 3:00. Sold 5,000 books in like hours.
Wow.
So he did really.
Is that good?
5,000 books in hours? Yeah.
Does that get him on the New York Times bestseller list?
Wow, I can see it.
It does that. It's pretty dope, right?
Yeah.
And that picture, that big one is huge. It's like a humongous fucking piece.
Oh, nice.
So it's awesome.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yep. It's pretty dope, right?
Yeah.
Pretty dope. So I didn't even know. It's funny because I went on to Soba's podcast, and all of a sudden they gave me this, and I was all, holy shit, that's pretty fucking good. There's Werner.
I'm back.
Wait. Ooh.
I can see it.
Back. I can't see my fucking book. Where is it? There? That one is? It's hard to do.
So I can see.
Hard to do.
Because you got your blur thing on.
I know.
Fucking
blur.
I can see me now. We're there.
Adam, everyone knows you're sitting in a closet. Just turn your blur thing off and show the photo.
That's too hard. I don't know how to do it. too many things. All right, here we go. Because last time it fucked up, remember?
I can see it.
So here we go. Where's the fuck's picture? Oh, yeah. There. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Who's that guy? That's Hank de Vries. You don't want to see. Oh, Sam the Skunk.
Oh, Hank de Vries.
Where is Sam? I don't see his picture though.
I agree with Hillbilly Herb in the chat. That reminds me of Mad Magazine. The style it's written in.
It's definitely. Oh, here's Bird. Here we go.
Oh yeah,
pretty good.
Yeah.
Bird doesn't look too off. He looks about right. With Mila. Yeah, it's pretty good though. The history's all in here, and it basically breaks down how they started with the Cotton Club, which was the first shop ever, like in Holland, not in Amsterdam. Amsterdam was the Yellow Submarine one or whatever it was. What was it called?
Oh, do you remember the Yellow Submarine?
Yeah.
We went on. We was actually on the Yellow Submarine.
You all live there?
We didn't live. Well, we did, didn't we?
We did. Here's Ed Rosenthal. I got him, but no picture.
What? No picture of Ed?
Sam the Skunk.
I need to get a good. I need to.
An old Ed Holloway, and there's no picture that I can see.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, no, there's a picture.
It's
here. It's I got. Here's a picture. I don't know which one it is, but.
I'll turn the disco lights off. I'm trying to give you a bit of atmosphere in my studio.
See that one? I don't know which one is supposed to be. Okay, see, the middle one's obviously Ed. The other one's Old Man Ed, and I guess that's Sam the Skunk Man is the skunk, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Oh, shit. Yeah.
Sam
really
the Skunk
awesome,
Man.
Really awesome artwork.
If I tell you, I'll kill you.
This guy, James Burton, is the guy who pretty much... Oops, let's see, where is it? There. He is the guy who started the first medical weed thing here in Amsterdam, and it was when he first came over. He had just gotten arrested, and we did a fundraiser for him at the CIA, and got him some money, and then he ended up registering. He was the first person to go register for medical marijuana, sort of like to get it rolling. And the Dutch were like, "Oh, it's very interesting," and they said, "Well, we don't do that, but if we do, we'll come back to you." And then when they decided to do it, they actually went to him and fucking honored it, which is crazy. I can't believe it. But so then he became the only supplier with the bedroken strain, and got a whole government deal to grow cannabis for the government, which is pretty impressive for a guy that was on the run basically in Amsterdam when we first met him. Yet another refugee, right?
Yeah, that's what Amsterdam's full of. It's the pirate city. Arr,
arr.
It used to be.
So there's no picture of Ed in there? There was just a story about him?
No, there is. I told you. I showed it to you. You didn't look. It was three people in one picture.
Okay.
It was 3 people in one picture. So
I hope I can say it, and he didn't tell it to me in confidence, but he's in Morocco right now doing a project to prove the triploid,
with there it is. See
genetics.
It in the middle?
That's him in the middle, huh? Wow.
Yeah,
they made him extra Eddie.
Extra Eddie. He's with the Humboldt seeds. He's doing that with Humboldt seeds, the triploid experiment. Should be interesting. I mean, it's a great idea for Morocco because if you can grow plants that don't get seeded,
right,
in a place like that that's loaded with pollen, because everything is seeded. All the hash is seeded. Weed, everything. There's nobody's growing Sensi, but if you could do it, that's great.
Because that's a game changer there. I mean, it doubles the right. You effectively whatever the production level is, if you can grow it, seedless, you're doubling it.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, because half the weight of the plant went to seeds. So if they're responsible for however many tons,
and not only that, but they tested seeded weed to non-seeded weed, and it's like crazy how quickly it loses cannabinoid. Like it goes down to like 74% less cannabinoids in fully seeded weed than in non-seeded weed. So that's,
of course, because the cannabinoids were being absorbed by the plant to be used to produce seed.
Yeah, well, they're taking up the real estate. Really, is what's going on. So there's a seed being developed. The resin's is secondary, at that point, and so definitely could be an interesting one. I'm curious about the whole triploid thing. I think it's from a commercial point, it's definitely interesting. I don't know why you'd want to do it on a small scale, but sometimes the triploids are almost everything you buy, though. Every kind of watermelon is a triploid. All those plants are triploids. Like they've gone through so many generations of improvement that you couldn't even recognize it from the original plant. Like if you look at what we're eating now compared to what they were eating 80 years ago or so, it's like it's not even the same plant. So triploids are definitely could be a game changer. It's one of those.
The way Ed described it is, it's you create a whole bunch of mules that are sterile, and they become the workhorse. So that would truly be something. I think it changes a lot in that region. It changes a lot for people who are in areas with doofuses or big farms. That what we talk about years ago, right? How there are crops that were planted in the United States back in 2016, 2017 that were just left and now are volunteer plants and that are producing pollen year after year after year.
For sure. No, that was one thing that was cool about going to Spain, is just seeing the hash made from strains that you're already familiar with. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not actually. It's kind of sad because we have seen that a lot of these new varieties don't make good hash. You know what I mean? They have this kind of it looks good and it or not even looks good. It smells great, get it, but it doesn't have the structure. It's a different kind of a structure. So it's very all the old people are really pissed off now because the new hash kind of melts already before it doesn't even hold its shape really well, and it's blowing out bag. It's blowing out bags and kind of acting weird because normally it's hard, and then you warm it up and it kind of softens up. Now it's like gets a little bit of heat on it and it starts to melt. So it's problems. Problems.
You need to make the trichomes. Trichomes are like fruits. They basically, if you get some grapes, they're going to pop and go everywhere and make everything else rotten. But if you make raisins, then the raisins maintain all the juices and everything, and you can do stuff.
Yeah, kind of get it.
Just so you know, everything you say on the show, we can use as a drop later, because I think that would be a really good one to play.
Yeah,
make raisins.
I mean,
it's if you think about how a raisin is, it's like a delicate thing. And if you trichomes, if you touch the plant, they basically one little. Because I used to go around your grow room, and squeeze everything, and the trichomes don't come back.
Yeah, he's the worst.
You've popped them. You've fucked them up. So you've got to really look after them properly and not let anything touch them. And then you've got to preserve them and keep them delicate and get them off the trichome. What's it called? The hair things.
Right.
What's the hairs called?
Which one is the stick? The
trichomes sit on.
The stalk part?
Yeah, so...
No, the hair things.
Yeah.
Hairs on the stalk.
The trichomes are on little hairs, yeah?
Kind of. Well, they're more like little mushrooms, right? They have heads. I mean, they're basically coming up and they have a head on top.
It's basically nettles.
Hairs are actually silicon.
So if you think of nettles, nettles are the same sort of plant. They've got the same things, the sting, yeah? They're little pointy things, but cannabis has got little trichomes on top. So what I've learned from extracting is those trichomes are very delicate, and it's like an apple tree. It's like if you had a tree with lots of fruits on and you just went and fucking scraped your hand across it, a giant went, well, them apples are fucked. So you got to treat the plant with, you just got to be careful with it, because those trichomes need to be while they're in the juicy form, they need to be protected. And then once they're start to dry out and stuff, they become stronger, and then you can use them better. And that's where hash comes from. Because anything like when you do live resin and stuff, that's not hash. That's liquid.
Right. Well, the whole thing is also like they're the wax, the whole outer side of the outer part of the trichomes are like keeping them separate, right? So that's what. And the thing is, the minute you start breaking them up, you're activating it, right? So things are starting to move. And
when you do a seed crop hash extraction, you've basically got the buds and you've squeezed the seeds out of them, so you've popped all the trichomes. So then the hash is shit. So.
Well, there you go.
I've figured out a secret how to make hash from buds.
What are you talking about? A secret?
So you normally you use the trimmings, yeah?
No, not nowadays. Now everybody's using buds, and that's the whole thing. Is now people are using the whole plant extract, so it's
but they're wasting a lot because they can't get in the bud.
No, we have grinders now that grind it all up.
How do they grind it then?
It's got two different sizes. One of our green bricks.
When do they grind it? Do they grind it when it's in the process, or do they grind it before?
You grind it right before you extract, so you're exposing as much as possible.
But then that pops all the trichomes.
No, not really. I mean, not all.
It does.
Can't pop them all. You can't pop them all. You can't pop them all, but you have to break it up, because otherwise you end up with you also waste it. If it's
you waste So you basically you need to get in the buds, but
it's one or the other though, pretty much, right?
Shall I share my secret?
course, just us talking here.
Nobody's here. Nobody's listening.
Yeah.
So I figured out if you have buds in the machine with ice in the washing machine, and you've done one run already, and then you're like, oh shit, it's just fluffy buds now. Guess what you can do? But only in the machine when there's ice and it's water. You can get it's not a blend. It's like a hand blender for doing pancakes with the blades on the end. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You hold it and it goes wee. Yeah, like a coffee grinder without the lid. You stick that in.
It's like a soup, like a
stick blender.
Yeah, stick blender.
Mixer.
So this is the trick, right? You've got to have the temperature frozen, so the trichomes are solid. So that's the important part. They're in the frozen. They're in the mixer. And you stick the blender in, and you go wheel, and all of a sudden the water just turns beautiful yellow, and all those trichomes are released. And you've just got to do it little bits and bats, and you see the buds breaking up and the trichomes coming out, and it releases them all, and you get basically, I don't know technically, but you can get 90%
You don't know
more.
technically? I can't believe it.
90% more.
90%. That sounds a little high, but I get it.
Well, I'm just giving you. If you do it right, if you don't blast it like most people, they think, right, I'm going to wash it longer, I'm going to get more. I'm going to blast it longer, I'm going to get more. It's not about getting more. It's about getting the best you can get and doing it again. And because my process is you wash it, clean it, start again and do it again. And you keep doing each run the same time, and you keep doing it exactly the same way. And the hash gets worse and worse as it goes along. And then you just stop when it's green. And you don't stop until it's green.
Terry used to make, what did you do? Terry would do 7 runs, 8 runs.
I do 10 runs.
10 runs. Terry does 10 runs.
So I'm famous for getting everyone's like DNA's trim or Soma's trim or everyone's trim. They'd only wash it once, because back in the days, dry sieve was a one hit wonder. So that was ingrained into people's brains when it came to making hash. They just thought, right, wash it once, it's shit now, throw it away. So I used to get the frozen trim, and then I'd wash it like 8 times, and I'd come out with this bubbly, oily, like melty. Mila even said that's not hash. She said she couldn't believe that was hash. She's told me it had oil in it and stuff. I was like, no, it's hash. I've just washed it again and done it properly. But what is proper?
Terry did a good job. Terry. So the thing is that I had shown Matt, our other guy, how to make hash, and so he would make hash, and then he would give Terry his leftover trim, and then Terry would come back with, obviously not more hash because that wasn't the point, but he'd come back with a piece that was better than the piece that Matt had, and Matt had it when it was full of trikes, you know what I mean? So he did prove a point a few times, and definitely didn't make Matt happy.
So you're really saying the whole secret to everything that Terry has been doing over the years to make better hash is an immersion blender?
No, that's my new secret. That's my new secret. So that's
before it was just that
you could never wash buds. You could never wash buds because you're just going to waste them. You're just basically like, you're going to waste your buds. So I got presented with a big mission at one point, and I had to wash like a lot of buds, and it was like, can I do it? And I did it once, and it was good. It was a good run, but it wasn't enough to pay back for the buds. And I was like, what do I do? And I washed it again, and it just, nothing came out. And I really got like, oh my God, this is, I've wasted $5,000 or something. And I just had the inspiration to get the blender and stick it in there. And all of a sudden it just made it come back. And I did about 10 runs and made it happen.
Terry. 10-run Terry, they call him.
10-run Terry.
No, they used to call me Terrocan. No, what was it? Terralator.
A Terralator.
The Terralator.
Everything was an aider back in the day. Do you remember that? It was like pollinator, fucking laminator, this-inator.
I was the Terralator. But what did Rob tell you? You remember when you went to Thailand and you had that MK Ultra hash? What did he tell you?
I don't remember. What do you tell me? You told me.
He told you it was the second best hash he'd ever smoked.
Well, I do remember him being impressed because we had of course, it was.
And he wrote the
MKLG,
book of hashish.
It was very flowery. It was very flowery.
Yeah, because it was the first time because I think what happened is that was the MKLG that won the Cannabis Cup. And Matt went away and he was like, "Hey, you got to make me some hash." And I was like, "All right." And do you know what happened? So that hash nearly killed me, right? So I was in my bathroom in Utrecht. I had my bucket and my bubble bags, and I was all excited. And I had the blender, and I dropped the blender in the water. So what did I do? What did I do?
Reached in and grabbed it.
I grabbed the blender. Oh my god! So I literally could be dead from that hash.
Well, there you go. I like that.
So when Rob said that, I was honored.
Speaking of Rob, see, you're working your magic now. This is a perfect segue because I have another guest coming in about 9 minutes.
Well, wait, before we move over, you gotta give credit to Mateo. He just came up with the best name for your new blender technology. Blender Tech. I love that. I think that's the winner right there. You got to sell that one, Terry, with your little Blender Tech. Write a little white paper on it.
Shock.
I like that.
Shock and awe.
Blender Tech.
Shock and awe.
Yeah. No shock.
If anyone needs to make more hash, I'll come and show you.
Actually, now that I think about it, think about what you're telling somebody to do. You just told them what happened to you when it goes completely wrong. They're holding an electric blender over a whole bunch of water, and they're stoners. You might be responsible for killing the best hash makers of the day.
Thank you. Sorry, everyone, but
don't do that.
At least, I know people that I've seen people, right, with no skin on their hands, complain that they lost the BHO that blew up the house more than the fact they've got no hand left. And I was like, man, you've got no hand left. He goes, my hand will grow back, man. I've lost all that fucking hash. No, not hash. It's BHO. I can't remember. I just met a guy and he's basically, he had no, his hand was a scab, right? And he basically done a BHO and blew the whole house up.
Oh, we've all met that person. We've all met them.
Well, you don't need BHO. You need water. Yeah. I call my hash, right? It's called H2O. And people are like, what's that? I'm like, it's fucking hash. And then they go, oh, yeah, BHO, H2O. Oh yeah, dude. Bro.
Dude, bro.
We haven't told
so you have any other hash to show us right now?
I don't have anything here. I'm in England.
He's in England, mate.
I'm in England, and it's not. Apparently, in Germany, they've just allowed 25 grams on your person, 50 grams at home. You're allowed 3 plants, but no one's allowed any weed yet because once you get the seeds, you've got to grow it and then get the weed later. Because if you got the weed before then, it's illegal.
Interesting. What did you hear anything more?
What they're trying to figure out, they drive it. So basically, the driving in your blood. So, do you want to tell the blood story, Adam?
I think I already did. About them wanting to draw blood. Yes, I've told you.
Yeah, so we used to drive around Amsterdam drinking beer in his little van, smoking joints out the window, kilos in the back, DJs hanging out the roof, and then all of a sudden they changed the rules. And was it that day or was it a week later?
It was during that time period. I don't know.
It was literally within about a week, right? We were driving to the north, and I think we were moving something, and we had like a barrel of hemp in the back. What do we have?
We had a lot of things in the back. We had
a lot of stuff in the back of the van.
We had a safe that we had cut out of the wall at the place.
And you had no wing mirrors, right?
Yes, I know.
It was the most surreal experience I've ever had, right? So we lived our lives just driving around, but then all of a sudden, we were driving around, smoking a spliff out the window, drinking beer, and the cops pulled us over, and they were like, "Right, it's illegal to drive smoking cannabis. We must take your blood." And you're like, "Nah, I'm not taking your blood." And like, so we basically we're at the petrol station, 100 meters from the office, and there was two police, and one of them was a woman, and she looked in the back. It was so full, she just looked at it and closed it again. And I was like, "Oh, I'm an artist. I'm from England, and it's just we're just having." And I was smoking. It wasn't him. Because yes, that doesn't matter because he could inhale it. And what was funny, right? It's basically after he got arrested and taken away, I says, can you take the van back to the office? So it was, so I was sat next to a policewoman in Adam's truck with no wing mirrors, no seatbelt, beer cans on the floor, about 100 spliffs on the dashboard. And I was just blabbing along about being this artist from England. She just drove me back there and then dropped me off. And it was like Adam was in jail or something. He had to pay $2,000 or get his blood taken to test if he had THC in it.
Do you remember when I called you though? Because they left me. They didn't take my phone, and I called you, and you were like, "I got the keys. Everything's good." And I was like, "Okay." And then I was like, "Hey guys, am I supposed to have my phone here?" They were like, "No, what?" Oh. It was like the classic Dutch cops.
It was proper. It was an amazing.
Yeah.
Did they take the reason I left?
No, hell no. It was the reason I left. It was the reason
exactly.
I left.
So our whole world was crushed within a month. That was it. See you later. Bye bye.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, sir. So anyway, what I was saying earlier about Segway was that Rob Clark's book Hashish was the inspiration for either our next guest or the guest after, because I don't know who's going to call in first, but hash wraps on Instagram, or Hash Crew. They both go to the same page. He has been making hash wraps like mine for the last couple of years, and he made his own tools, so you can wrap around the tool, and then it has a very easy to pop up. He actually gave me one. I can see if I can go find it, but he said that people had been hitting him up, and all they said was laminator, and he was like, "What is laminator?" And they were like, laminator. Like somebody just kept hitting him up, telling him that, and then he finally figured out that was what was in Rob's book. He read the chapter, then he figured out that it was me, and then he interviewed me for their thing they're doing, reels that they're making, and but yeah, it was pretty cool because he didn't do it with a laminator. He was doing it with a press, and then he's figured out that the laminator is even better. So he's now starting to do, I don't know about better, but he's also doing it with a laminator too. So
man, you should take the laminator home. You should get it. Did you see the laminator?
I did. I have a photo of it. I'll send it over there.
Show him the laminator. Do you remember the time when we arrived at the north with a van full of fucking we were rocking up to the office, and the office is in a big old ship factory where they used to fix the ships, and it's got big sliding doors, and it's got a lift going up to each floor, and we have a storeroom on the first floor and the room in the top floor. And we had, I think it was your last joint of sour diesel, the AJ sour diesel, the stinkiest weed you've ever smoked. And we were just smoking it, and all of a sudden we arrive at the north, and there is a building full of police.
Here we go. We got the
customs and military. There was everyone there, wasn't there? Everyone, right? Everyone, right?
Yeah.
And we were basically like, "Oh shit!" And we just rocked up. We stunk the whole building out. And we got out the van, right? And we had loads of records, didn't we? We basically was like, "Oh, hi guys," and we went in the lift, and then we went to the top floor, and we're like, "Shit, what are we gonna do?" And we just basically, I was in this situation, and the laminate is part of the story because I had to get the stuff that was incriminating and put it in the first floor, and I remember getting the laminator, and I think it was the vacuum press on this little trolley. And I went to the lift, and I was in the lift with a guy with a police jacket, an orange jumpsuit, and some other suit. And I was just in this lift with this laminator covered in hash. and whatever else was in the vacuum seal. And I was just basically went to the first floor, put it somewhere, and then went up the staircase, did everything else, and then we left with some records, didn't we, with all the other stuff that we needed to get rid of in the records, and just left. And then for the whole week, the building was on lockdown, and every single room was being searched meticulously to see if there was any people living there or if there was any other stuff. And it was just, it was the operation. It was good though, wasn't it? Special forces, aren't we? Special forces.
We had to get, that was a good one. That was definitely like, oh my God. They couldn't do, there was like every single kind of cop there. It was nuts.
It was the customs, everything.
Yeah.
And Matt was there, wasn't he? Matt was in the, he was there. So we had to sort that out. And the barrel of hemp. Do you remember? Oh.
Yeah, we had a barrel. We had a barrel of CBD.
A barrel full of hemp.
It was like
barrel full of. It was basically from Rob and Dave, and they gave us their old CBD. Like it was like stunt weed, basically. It was like CBD, giant buds. We could use it for photos and things like that. They were making hash from it because they wanted to see if they could make CBD hash, which they could. But they were like, well, now we did that. There's nothing left in this weed. They've already rolled it. You know what I mean? But it still looked really good. It was like looking.
It was weed.
It was funny, but we had to we just had this barrel, and it was just kind of all the time causing drama. I was like, fuck, the barrel of fake. Like basically, it's like fake weed, but it's still weed. You know what I mean? You're still. And no one's going to believe you when you tell you it's CBD at the time, right? And that thing was ridiculous. It
I think Dougie saved the day because me and Adam escaped, and during that week the cops had to search every room, so they searched the office, and when they looked in, Dougie instantly presented his Medal of Aranya that his uncle, who was a general, who I don't know, I can't remember his name, but he basically during the floods in 1952, I think it was. Holland flooded, and his general saved all the Dutch, and I think he offered them coffee, and they didn't even look, basically. So yeah,
right.
But I think one person was found and got arrested. Like
so, Adam, I don't know if you can see, but who just joined us? Somebody joined us on the other line there.
It's either Jason or Alec.
Which one are you?
Jason.
Jason is here.
Hey, Jason
from Hash Raps. Jason. How you doing, bro?
All right.
How's it going?
Thanks a lot for having me on the show, man. I'm glad that ALEKS was able to get a hold of you there at the show and interview. That made my day.
No, it was really cool. It was fun. I had to squeeze it in right before I left. And
now we have ALEKS too.
Perfect. All right. Yep. There you go. All right. So Terry, we're going to jump onto these guys, but we're going to have you back on obviously sometime soon. Thanks for the memory.
And have some fucking hash with you next time, okay? Don't show up talking about this marvelous hash and then we never see any of it.
Oh, thank you.
All right, man. Talk to you soon.
Peace.
Yeah. Made my day.
We got to turn
Alec, you have your volume on. You got to turn that down on the Zoom.
All right. So, Terry, we're going to jump onto these guys, but we're going to have you back soon.
You just have the show on in the background. You can turn that off.
Yeah. You have the show on YouTube in the background. You need to turn off, ALEKS.
Because that's not a different time. Gotcha. There you go. So,
boom.
And then you can still listen to the other one. That's fine. But just do the Zoom part, and then that will
put your headphones back on.
And we're back.
Can you hear us now?
Yes. What's going on, guys?
Excellent.
Can you hear me?
Hey there. Yeah, perfect. We had the classic old school radio, radio, whoa, hey, yo, turn on the radio. So,
that's my bad. I should be up with this tech.
I know you're the tech guy. I thought you were the one interviewing, so it must be. Well, thanks for joining us. And Jason's on with us too, so that's awesome. We were just saying it was good that I managed to get to you because I wasn't going to come back, but then I just thought, well, let's see if we can let's squeeze another hour into this show. So it's cool. How'd the rest of the show go for you?
We're good at that.
How'd the rest of the show go for you guys?
Yeah, heck yeah. Spanibus was awesome. I was there with some of my team. So I guess I'll introduce myself because I'm hopping on the show, and not everyone,
of course,
might know who we all are.
We so suck, Adam. We don't know how to reset.
Alex with a K. It's Alex with a K, and he's from Hashtek in Canada. What part of Canada are you in?
So yeah, my name's Alex. I'm the founder of Hashtek. We're based just outside of Toronto here, and we specialize in ice water extraction equipment. Mainly we're stainless steel fabricators. So that's why we were out in Spanibus. It was definitely cool to connect with you there. So Jason Hash Crew really put me up to connecting with you while I was out there, and he's our, I guess, like hash wrap correspondent. I'll let Jason introduce himself too, because I think that's a good segue into that.
You guys, and when you say our, is that like you guys have a show you do together, or is there just like you just talk about in the industry, sort of teaching people?
Yeah, nothing other than we're friends and we enjoy hash wraps. And Jason made these kits, which I have on the website now. He sells them himself, the hash wrap kits. So we do have that kind of collab. It all started with us writing a blog post together before these were even a thing on just how to make hash wraps. I enjoy them so much, but they're rare. They're like a treat. And it's every time I come upon them, I'm so happy. And I just want to teach more people how to make them and repopularize them so that when I go to more places, I find them more often.
Yeah, it's kind of like you have to be dedicated to light one up. You know what I mean? Because they're definitely it's like once it's on, it's on. You know what I mean? There's no like, I'll take a couple hits off my hash wrap and I'll put it away or something like that. It's not. It's like it's a sesh. You know what I mean? It's a proper sesh. So Jason, tell us a little bit about your journey, man. Tell me about your journey, your hash journey.
Man. So it started back in. Yeah, I actually started making hash back in '98. I got Robert Clark's book, a friend of mine in Houston. They had this like alternative bookshop on the Montrose and right off Westheimer, right near Westheimer and Montrose. I got that book and started making dry sift, and yeah, just really kind of to cash. And like Ron moved up to upstate New York and got involved with some of the legal cannabis guys and started developing products for, complete solventless line. And one of the things I was doing one day in the lab, so we had an analytical HPLC there, did a lot of testing and, just looking at how many THC points are like left over, like in that rosin bag after you press it, or, like the THC points left on the flower after we washed it. So yeah, one of the first things I tried to do is just take, flower rosin pucks and make those into wraps. And that works. You can make them, but they're not really that pleasant, especially like whenever you get kind of high heat pressing. Yeah, I made my first wrap actually out of the leftovers in a rosin bag. And then I started packing my hash into rosin bags, ripping them, smashing them flat to get the liquid part out and making them. Yeah. And then eventually I left that.
So like almost like making natural paper basically or something.
Right.
Like
Yeah. That's basically what it was. I was looking for a way to take our waste stream and capitalize on it. And then I just started, progressively trying higher quality, because one of the big things that a lot of people said is, oh, this isn't really high grade material. And so then I just kind of started pressing the envelope of what I could press into hash. And like some of the guys, I don't have like that kind of material, but one of the guys that started making hash after looking at our blog, is making ones that look like shatter wraps. I mean, they're completely clear, like a window. Pretty incredible. Not super stable to burn. You have to have weed.
I was going to say that usually the problem is always that you get to a certain point and then it just sort of loses all integrity because it's just turning to liquid. You know what I mean? So you have to kind of like, I saw some of the ones in your photos where you could see like the top was like proper melt. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, those that's about as much as you can go. You know what I mean? Any further and just collapse into themselves.
So if you cure them long enough, And if it's cold enough outside, I post a lot of videos and people are like, how are you burning that thing? But one thing I don't tell people is I'm in upstate New York where it's freezing outside most of the time. I'm usually out on my sunroom porch where the temperature is usually right at 40 degrees Fahrenheit. And so,
yes. So you need to like live in a refrigerator if you want it.
Right.
You want
right.
a hash wrap, just happen to have to be in a fridge.
His partner's from Toronto.
Yeah. If you want to burn a full melt one, yes. But like, the kind of lower quality ones, you guys probably can't see because the camera's not that good. But like the lower quality hash wraps that are made out of dry sift, what you might tumble from your smalls or your trim. I mean, those burn really nicely hollow. And
any chance you want to take us through how with the process, or is it? I mean, you said you've made some YouTube videos, so it's doesn't sound super secret. Like you teach people how to do it. So,
oh no, he's all about teaching people how to do it. That's
then let's not send everyone to your channel. Let's keep him here and show him how it's done. Because I've seen, even though he's dead to me, Rosendog's friend and listener of the show, make some really, really nice hash wraps. He's been posting them online.
Yeah. He got
Did you teach him? You're smiling.
Well, I don't know that I taught him. I mean, I don't really teach anybody anything step by step, but yeah, I provide the tools and kind of the framework. I mean, really, you have to know hash to be able to make a really good hash wrap. Somebody that doesn't really have a good understanding for, hash, like what it's going to do, hash from different cultivars behaves all kinds of different ways. But yeah, that guy's
no, he knows hash. I mean, he showed up at the first ADSI and applied to be Adma's bitch, but he wasn't accepted.
Well, I think the reality is like what I noticed over the because in the beginning I was making them when I was doing dry sieve, then bubble bag, then I started making bubble hash, and when I started making bubble hash, it didn't really work as good. Like I had like it was a lot harder to find the right strain that would do it because it was already too clean. You know what I mean? And like whereas when it was dry sieve, it still had more of like old school hash where it would like. You'd roll it, you'd get it, it'd be soft, you'd roll it, and then it would get hard and it would stay hard. You know what I mean? It would be like, wow, that's fucking perfect. And it was like, but it was very, like I said, super strain specific and batch specific. Everything is specific. It's like you had real hit and miss. Like I had stuff where it just wouldn't do it, and you're like, well, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? It was just too soft, So,
I mean, what I tell people is like really. Yeah, what I tell people is really killer hash should probably just be smoked as really killer hash, and make your hash wraps out of your lower grade hash that taste and smells good. And if you want to put flour in it, put flour in it. If you want to put rosin in there or other hash, I was making.
I did that for a little while too, and I wasn't. It kind of ruins it because you're worried about the weed. You don't know what you're smoking then at that point. Right. You know what I mean? Like it's much nicer. It's much nicer to do pure hash because it like blows people's minds. So I had it one time where, so what I would do is I would make them into backstage passes, right? So I had a whole, so every time there was a concert coming in, I deal with a band. So like for 1996, Fun Loving Criminals was like the first band that I kind of made a bunch for because they loved it. They loved the hash, and I showed them one, and they were like, "Holy shit, that's amazing!" So we need to take those on tour. So I made like 30 of them. And what's funny is when you stack them up, because there's hash inside of them, they're actually like slightly rounded a little bit. Like they're not flat. They're not like a square flat thing. They're like just a little bit rounded. So when you stack up like 9 or 10 of them, they got this like weird vibe because they're kind of balancing on each other almost in a weird way. Even though they look flat, there's just that slight round, like a fucking Earth, just like the Earth, right? It's flat, but kind of like slightly round.
Earth. Yeah, I mean, that's the perfect example of like why the Earth's flat and not round.
Yeah, but it was pretty cool. So anyway, the passes, like, and there was one time they called me up from Russia, and they're like, "Dude, we're on the top of a mountain in Russia. We had no weed. I busted out your laminates." And they were all like, woo, on top of the world, literally on top of the world at that time because they're up on top of a fucking mountain. But it was like always in these killer situations because usually people, it's not that they forgot about them. It's just like kind of more of a, if an emergency break glass situation, you know what I mean? And it was kind of like, there's people who called me from all over the place because they would easily travel and nobody really gave a shit. It's like once you get inside the laminate, you'd lose the idea that it was even hash. So I'd cut the end of the thing off, pop it open, and people's minds would be like blown. You know what I mean? It's like, oh shit, there's hash inside the backstage pass. Like fuck, you know. So we did it with 1 year with the Deftones at so it was Lowlands, Deftones, Cypress Hill, and I'm backstage between stages, or like playing on 2 different stages. We all met in the middle, and it was like a group of about 13 people in a circle. And I busted that out, and it was like first people trying to figure out what it is, then I roll it, put it on a thing, drop it into the thing, pass it around, and it was just like every time it went around, 3 more people fell off. You know what I mean? It was just like I'm out. You know, I kept going around. It was like okay, and it was just me and Steph from the Deftones. So it was kind of like just him and I just standing there going like, I guess it's just us now. You know what I mean? It was fucking hilarious, but it was like, be real. Everybody, they all tapped out. You know, they were just like, nope, we're done, because it was fucking. I used to do about 3 grams was kind of like perfect. You know, about a 3, 3.5 gram. If it got too big, it fell apart, and if it was too small, it's too small. So you want to have perfect, but perfect seemed to be about 3.5 grams. I don't know what size you guys are normally doing them, but that seemed to be my sweet spot.
Yeah, I used to, when I first started making them, I was trying to make them 1/8, so 3.5 grams each.
That's exactly what seems to work.
The first guy, so the first one that I make, I'm working at a place and they're planting the greenhouse at the time, and I run outside with it. I think I've invented this thing, and I run out and I'm like, hey guys, I'm like, you're not gonna believe what I just came up with, and I'm so excited. I run out there, I show the first head grower guy the thing, and he looks at it and he's like, oh, a butter joint. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, it's a hash joint, right? I'm like, you seen these before? He's like, oh yeah, man, we're making those back in window back in 2008, blah blah, but they kind of suck. They fall apart. They don't really work that well. And basically, we got about a quarter of the way through it. And, we had to just let it go out because nobody could smoke anymore. And, second guy I take it to, same thing. He's like, oh, yeah, I used to make those all the time. He would wrap around a pencil. And then the third guy I took it to had never seen it before and was just like totally blown away. And we set the smoke alarm off in his house.
Oh yeah, I do that. That's
typical Adam.
That's super typical us too. Like fuck, smoke alarm.
Wait, do you know that we have an Adam Dunn show packaged shower cap that you can take with you on the road and use it to cover the smoke alarm in your hotel room?
It's the Adam Dunn shower cap. Yes, that's the Adam Dunn shower cap.
Shower cap. So at least give us a quick run through on how you make these, because I would like to know, and Rosendogs is never going to tell me.
Right. Yeah. So, you want to talk about the laminator tech? I really haven't decided which way, I really love the most. The thing with the laminator, I don't really want to make 1,000 of something, just for the hell of it. I like making really special stuff, but if I'm doing production work, I definitely go with the laminator. And I've got a distributor that has a screen at the bottom of it. You dump a pre-weighed amount of hash like through the screen. You wipe a card across it, and it deposits on the paper, exactly the size sheet that I want to make. And I also have like a little flat mold template, a plastic template that the hash goes into. And so when it runs through the laminator, it doesn't squeeze the hash any thinner than the template that I have. And,
it was really hard for me. Like the whole thing is like the laminator
that it's nice and sandy, that it doesn't have.
Yeah, well, the laminator that I just posted a picture of earlier, I don't know if Mark can pull it up, is like the one that I ended up like, that was the one, because it had to have so many specifications, because it had to be able to go for like really thick, obviously, like cardboard style, where it would open up,
right.
Like it doesn't just squeeze it through two solid fucking things. So otherwise, it just pushes it all back. Because I tried it on cheap laminators, it doesn't work. You have to get a good one, and then it has to have, well, it can work, but it's just harder. And then you really needed a reverse on it, because the reverse gave you the control of being able to either pull out when you fucked it up a little bit, or put it in, pull it back a tiny bit, and then let it go back in again. And it was just like, you kind of got these perfect, because it was like each time you put it in, you kind of had to, it was a little bit of a feel, you know what I mean? So it was kind of fun though, because it was like, as I was doing it, I was always just like, it got easier and easier because I was like, what I would do is I'd make microchips where I would do small amounts, like a half a gram, and I'd do them and then I'd take a leather punch after it was all ran through, and I would leather punch them out like Flippos. Remember Flippos were really big, so I was making Flippos and microchips, and the microchips I was giving out to people. I think I won a cup with that or something, but it was just kind of like a bong hit in a fucking, little chip, and I'd put a little crease in it so you could pop it open. The whole thing about it that was a problem was to get them open, you had to figure out, like, you had to create that, tear strip, which is kind of hard when you're doing everything by hand. So you're like rolling it. I made phone cards, but I was calling them stone cards. So, because phone cards were really big back then, everybody needed phone cards for their fucking thing. So I'd make phone card shaped ones, and they said stone card. You know what I mean? And I just kind of always had something. But the problem was in Holland, nobody would want to buy it. Like I could only do it during the cup because there was a definite audience. During the year, the shops didn't want to carry it because it had branding on it, and they didn't want anything with branding. Everything you sell in Amsterdam is like in a baggie with no name on it. You never put your name on it. You never put a sticker in it. You never do nothing like that because you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to advertise at all. So that was like, everybody got scared because I was always like trying to fucking do what everybody's doing now, which is hype up their fucking brand that they're doing, So especially if I'm coming up with gimmicky shit, it's always like, yeah, I got to save these for the fucking cup pretty much. So that's part of the reason why it didn't work. And then when I realized how much work it is, I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this every day. This is fucking a lot of work, and it's hard to train people to do it properly because it's a lot of finger work. And, as you know, it's not the instant easiest thing in the world, but it's also definitely doable with the tools that you made, and you can get some continuity because I was always freestyling every time. Like, what am I going to do this one with? You know what I mean? I try every time.
Adam, do you have any hash with you there?
Do I have
here and there?
Yeah,
Adam. Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm on my last day before I fly back, so I'm pretty much just doing whatever I got, and I got a little bit of weed last night at Katsu, and I got some hash and stuff from them, some charis, but. No, I'm not in my work zone.
Because I did have a chance to give you one of those kits. It'd be awesome to see you using it as the
I will.
of the tech.
I will. When I get home, I'll definitely make one and shoot a video for you guys because I'm sure that'll make it easier. So I'm down.
Wait, does that mean I don't have to roll joints anymore? I just have to fill the hash wraps?
No, we don't. The hash wraps, we keep those hash. That's why they're hash wraps. The thing is, you put weed in it, and what happens sometimes too is it's like the weed will burn faster than the hash will, and it will start to go behind it, and then it will burn from the it doesn't help. You know what I mean? It's much easier just to be one consistency because when you start mixing the weed, we've done it. It works, but it's sometimes can make it sloppier, and it tastes different too because you really don't get the hash flavors. You get hash flavor, but you don't get that proper.
No, listen, I'm sorry, I'm stupid. You could play that one video, Vinny. I had no idea. Rosendog shows them all the time. I see them burning. I just kind of assumed there was weed inside of them.
He's putting weed in his.
No, Dave, I'm with you. I had the same experience with hash wraps. I'd only ever seen them being filled with flour until Jason was like, no, you can smoke them hollow.
Wait a minute, Alex. So you're saying I just gave Vinny a free drop and I didn't need to give him that drop?
That's right.
All right. No, well, I get it now. If we didn't keep interrupting Jason, maybe he would have explained that how we make them, and nowhere in the process would he have said when we add the weed, and maybe I would have figured it out. But
no, I've got tools to fill them with weed to make hash holes, and I've got some pretty cool things that are going to be coming out pretty soon that'll help out people doing really large scale production. Like there's one of the companies I trained in Canada said that they're planning on making 10,000 of them a week.
Well, hash holes are a big thing right now because 14er just added them to their little. They're doing a gram plus a quarter gram.
Yeah, but really what you need to do is come up with a high an easy way to make them quickly so that you can make them smaller, because the biggest complaint that I get from people is that they can't finish them. And like what you're saying before, when you light one, it's like the death fuse for a bomb. Like you can't put that thing.
It is.
I mean, you can put it back into a tube and snuff it out with oxygen, but it doesn't taste as good, you know? So like whenever you light that thing, you want to commit to it and get the whole thing. But I have some people call them day enders, you know. So I had one company that I went by there at 10 o'clock in the morning, right when I first started making them, and went by there, smoked the whole crew out. And then the owner of the company called me later that day, and he was like, "Hey, man, I wasn't there when you came by this morning, but you're not allowed to come back here again before 4:30 in the afternoon." And I'm like, he's like, "Well, I had two guys that went home at lunch that just never came back. And then the other 6 people that were on the payroll didn't do shit. You owe me $2,500 in payroll for today." I'm like,
what the?
Yeah, no, it definitely can do exactly that. And on top of that, it's just like sometimes you'll blow out a place where they'll come back like 4 hours later and just be like, "What the fuck was going on?" Because it's not just, you're not just inhaling it. You're also, it's just going off. Like it's going on its own regardless. You know what I mean? It's burning without your assistance even. So
right.
Yeah, definitely. But you know, it's the thing is that now we actually have hash or have enough weed to be able to do this, because that was my whole thing too, is that I realized pretty quickly that like, well, this is, you know, because people be like, "Oh, you should start making these," and I'm like, dude, do you have to have such a consistent amount of weed that's the right weed? You'd be juggling, and you'd be like, the quality would be really hard to keep consistent unless you're behind all of it. You know what I mean? Because it's not the it's really hard if you go, again, like not only strain to strain, but batch to batch and style to style. And sometimes it's like I had outdoor weed, you know, actually produces better versions of it than indoor weed did a lot of times, because the indoor weed was too oily and didn't have the same trike structure, you know what I mean? So it was like you got like much more traditional hash style from outdoor weed that I was doing it with, even in Holland, which has like very little outdoor weed. And that was where I realized, like, well, shit, I can't even get this. Like, I only got it like once a year. I'm making really, really good ones because I'll take it from my outdoor plant. It's just like dry sieve, outdoor, produce the most consistent, stable product for me at the time, at least. You know what I mean? Like, and everything that I did indoors was like sometimes good, sometimes bad. Like a lot of it was, especially anything that was like Kush related, did not make good hash. You know, Kush made shitty hash. It made green hash. Didn't matter how you did it. Like even if you're lightly doing it, had like a flowery texture to it. It was nice, but just wasn't didn't make good. Would not make anything really. So I kind of come out. You know, when you get that yellowy kind of color, it's not necessarily the best for. Like I always had better luck with silver colored hash, like a silver kind of texture. That always seemed to flatten, turn hard, stay hard for the most part.
How did you roll yours? Did you roll it around a cone or a pencil? Or
no. I was actually more or less freestyling it a lot of times, because I needed the right consistency. That's why what I would do is I just warm it up. Like I hold it in my hand, and I heat it up with my breath. And then I would just kind of slowly roll it like back and forth until I got it to the point where it was like I could just get it over one, and then I'd fold it in and I'd drop it into the downstem. I wouldn't go around the downstem. I go into the downstem because it was like a graphics classic glass downstem, which is pretty big. It's bigger than your average. It's not like a small. You couldn't. And that was the problem. I had to have those, and I was going through them pretty fast. I'd buy them by the hundreds a pack, and I'd go through them pretty fast, you know what I mean? Because I'd be using them for bongs and using them for things. And if I used them once, I'd just be like, fuck it. And I usually toss it because it'd be somewhere, you know, I wasn't going to walk around with it or whatever. And so, but I put cardboard inside the bottom, like I'd wrap cardboard and put it in there to keep the ash from coming back into your mouth. Because sometimes people taking a hit and the fucking ash would get pulled back in, you know? So, yeah, that's why I really was, I knew that it was hard to do the consistent thing, but it was also like when I had something that worked, it worked fucking amazing. You know what I mean? And also, it was really, I could tell it was good if I could make the seal like get back into itself easily without having to like if it stays apart, it's not going to work. You know what I mean? You'd have to be able to melt the hash back onto itself to get that seal, and then then I knew it was going to work. If it didn't do that, I knew it was not going to work because it would burn down the edge, and that means it just had too much plant material or something in it. You know what I mean? That was usually the stuff that didn't quite do it. But yeah,
so basically, if you're not Adam Dunn, you need the machine that these guys have invented.
You can make hash wraps; they're just not going to be as good without my tools. So.
No, I like the fact that the tool is tapered properly. It's got the right size. It's not too big, because a lot of times.
Did I miss it? He hasn't showed us the tool yet. It's been in his hand.
This is actually, I only came up with this design because I actually showed Alex what I was doing. And before, I always showed people that I hand rolled the hash wraps. I never showed that I used any kind of tool, because almost everybody that would try, if they suck at rolling, they would never be able to make hash wraps. So when I was first making them, I wanted to be the only guy with hash wraps. And then after I left that licensed place and I didn't really care about, selling a bunch of hash wraps to other people, I kind of at that point in time, no longer really cared. And it was about the time that Alex asked me to do that blog with him. So I did the blog, I showed people hand rolling the hash wrap and that. And also, I just didn't want anybody to be able to make them as quickly as I could. But then I finally showed him the tool that I was using, and he saw it and he just made this comment. He was like, "Really? That's how you do it? I kind of always thought that you made them with the filter in the hash wrap." And I was like, it bothered me so much that I stayed awake until probably 2:00 in the morning just thinking about that. And I was like, man, he's right. I can't believe I've taken and, I make the hash wrap and I shove the filter in there. I'm wasting time right there. And I went down in my basement and got my little jewelry laid out and kind of whittled out, a stem coming off the paintbrush that I was using. So I used to use a watercolor paintbrush. But yeah.
The bottom of a handle, the bottom of a handle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the handle.
Yeah, exactly. And so then so I had all different size paintbrushes to make different size cones. But yeah, what I found is the 1 gram, you can, with this size cone, you can make you can make them as small as you want to, but you can make them up to about 1.75 grams with this and not have them be too thick. So I've also developed a whole lot of tech into different types of hash, how thin or thick the hash wrap should be to burn properly. With a real full melt one where it's just turning to oil right away, you want it to be so thin that the oil doesn't drip, when it does start to melt, that you actually vaporize that hash. And but yeah, this tool works really well with that. But yeah, as soon as I made it the first time, sticking the filter, onto my paintbrush and just wrapping it around, I'm like, oh man, I saved myself half the time. It used to take me probably 10 to 15 minutes per wrap, to press them, form the wrap, get them ready, and package them. And now I can do probably, I can easily do, 20 to 30 in an hour, full, weighing the material out, setting everything up. And I'm kind of have my production down pretty quick. But when I'm doing production work, I actually don't even use this cone tool. I have a totally different method that I've never showed anybody other than the guys that I work with. So, but yeah, but I like this.
Sounds interesting.
Well, the important thing is you can't make hollow wraps. And so I'm really into hollow wraps. So with my other method, you have to put weed inside of them. I'm basically rolling them with the weed inside of them. But the way that I do it, I just haven't shown anybody. But yeah, so I've got some other tools coming out though that'll have a form that once you make the wrap, it pushes down in there. So if you do want to fill it with flour, or you could put, a stem in the middle and then pack loose hash around it. And then have a little tamper that taps the hash in. So you could have, another gram of loose hash inside the room. But yeah, that laminator, as soon as I saw the laminator, and I just thought to myself, because I've had some back and forth with Marcus, about different products and everything. And he's like, oh yeah, I make these hazel sticks or whatever. And, and I was like trying to, hey man, you should like see what I'm doing. And he's like, I've already got it figured out. And after I did the laminator for the first time, knowing Mark's history, Marcus, calls him. When I met him like a long time ago, I think he just went by Mark. But anyway, so whenever I first did the laminator, I saw how quick I could do it and everything. I'm like, fuck, man, Marcus has probably known about the laminator. Like all these other guys that also have read Hashish, they probably all known about it. And they probably see me, doing my press and are like, God, man, that guy's like really, doing it the slow way. But yeah, as soon as that guy, the guy that had been telling me, he just sent me a message like laminator, or however you
laminate. Well, yeah. So I did it laminator because we're in Holland, so it's Nederland, and it's a laminator, so that's Nederland, right? So that was my little. The thing is, if you know me, everything has to be a fucking some sort of double entendre or something. That's just something I can't help it. Just my brain works like that, right? I'm like laminator, perfect. And it was the funny thing too is that I think how many times has Danny Danko talked about how happy he was that he would come at the end of the fucking cup and come to my place and laminate all his shit every time. I think every time he's like, I throw me under the bus every time. But yeah, he would come over. Because what I would do also is use a coffee grinder and sort of prep everything that way, because a lot of times I had this like chunks of hash, and instead of like sitting there with a sieve and trying to like sieve it through, and I would just get my coffee grinder and I'd be like zip, 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 and I'd break it up. And what would happen is if you went too long, you'd create heat, which would then all of a sudden, like if you had really good hash, sometimes it would just go, it would break up and it would just like be like too. So it was crazy. I went through so many fucking coffee grinders over the years because I'd be like trying to find the right one that you could actually not jam all the buttons, because what happens is it jams the resin jams anything it can jam, it'll jam, right? So if there's a fucking locking device where you have to click it on or anything like that, it's gonna get fucked because the resin will just get stuck in there. So I would always try to find the most basic ones possible that you could just like flip over the top and do it. But yeah, that was sort of like Terry was talking about his blender earlier. It literally was my fucking one thing I had to have. If I didn't have that, it was really hard to make them, because if your hash is too lumpy, it's not going to work. You have to be making it fresh, or but if it's old hash that you have sitting around, like that's impossible, because all of a sudden, even just like sitting around, it's already settled into a hunk, you know what I mean? So I'd have to sometimes you'd have perfect hash that was just like ready to fucking break up, and if you had it when you were making it, you could tell, you could separate certain things. That's why I like dry sieve, though, because dry sieve was always the easiest for me to play with, get my cards out and sit there and try to line it all. Because what I would do is also, I'm putting it through, like I'm folding the piece of paper with the cellophane. I would, because it's like I would always, as I'm doing it, I would just be joking with people that like this is the perfect thing for recovering cocaine addicts who wants to just sit there and play with a card all day and powders, because that's all you did was line shit up and sit there and play with shit and try to like scrape the top off, get it the right depth, you know what I mean, and then run it through the machine. But I would run it really fast through the first time just to get it spread right, and then it would go back again, and I'd slow down the pace and adjust the heat and bring the heat up a tiny bit. Like, so I'd sometimes run it colder and faster at first to feel it out and see what I'm doing, working with, and it would kind of go through, and it would either, because if it was really good, it would just smear out. And I lost so much hash over the years in my laminator that I was like, no one will do this, because they'll be like, fuck, that's $100. But I'm never thinking about money because I'm just making hash myself. So I'm always just like, oh, well, there goes another 3 grams of the machine stuck in this thing. Or I had like, pull that picture up, Mark, because you can see all the hash just literally stuck on the rollers and stuff, because it was like,
you're not scraping bowls, you're scraping laminators.
Yeah, and you're pulling. There it is.
And speaking of Danny Danko, if you guys, you're probably going to get asked to do his show in 2 weeks, and he won't interrupt you at all when you explain your machine. You can actually show the product on camera, watch actually how you make one, maybe even get your website up there. I get it out a few times. Alex, I saw him holding the machine for a second, but he barely put it up. You know, you actually give you some time. Danny will go in depth with you. So his people will be calling you.
It shows a half an hour. He's not going in depth with anybody, dude. He's going in, he's talking boop, 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 and you're out, and he edits it. We don't edit. There's no editing. He goes,
I don't watch his show. I don't know.
Jason can talk. Anyway, that's the machine right there. You can go zoom, zoom, zoom really hard so you can see the rollers. I want to see the rollers. See the dirty rollers. Like that is money to people. They're like, that's money right there. You're losing money. That was the whole thing. Is I realized quickly, like, it was hard because I had to like I would take the top plate off when I was making it so I could see everything that was happening, because there was times where I just watched that shit would go around and around, and I'm like, oh my God, dude, it got like, you know, the paper got, sometimes the bottom paper would pull instead of the top paper, and it would pull through the machine, and I'd be like, oh shit, what's going on? Because it was jamming on the top. And I was like, you know, so I've gone through so much R&D with that it would be like, you know, for most people it might not be cost effective, but it definitely worked when it worked. And I had it, like, that machine was, I think, the third iteration, but it was the best one I had because that machine was able to, like, I could take it all apart and get in there and work on it and stuff. You know,
Did you make pasta with it?
I think it was like 600. I think it was like 600. It was like 600 euros, that thing, which was fucking expensive for 2004 or whatever it was, or three. I was like, holy shit, that's a fucking expensive laminator. But yeah, you had to get all the features because it needed the reverse, it needed the adjustable temperatures that you could really dial it down by temperature. Because it was cool because it was all in Celsius, so it was like I'd get it each degree, you know, bop bop bop, and you could actually really dial it in. You'd be like 180, okay, 180, ooh, get a little hot. You know, you can see what was hot and what, like, you know, and you can also judge your product really easy just by looking at it through a light and also how it reacted in the machine, right? Right, Terry?
Oh, shit, Terry's back.
Uh-oh, Terry's back. He's all laminator.
Wait, what the fuck? Did we said his name 3 times or something, and then he's back?
I don't know.
What the hell? He's
back. Uncut Bush wants to know if it's a 12-inch.
Oh, what wouldn't he like to know?
Laminate machine.
Of course he does. That
12-inch
fucking
laminate
perv.
machine, he says.
I think it's a 30 centimeters. 30 centimeters.
30 centimeters. So if that's whatever the conversion is there.
Huh?
I said whatever the conversion is.
Terry, turn your phone sideways. Jesus Christ.
Hey-o.
Hey-yo. How many times have you been on the show? Once, mate.
Get with the program. Everybody
turn
else.
your phone sideways. Which one does not look like the other? Diddly diddly do.
He's refusing.
The laminator was the.
Oh my goodness. Terry, we're gonna laugh at you until you turn your phone sideways. They're gonna think you're the slow guy. There you go.
Tell us your laminator story, Terry. Come on.
Right, carry on. I need to
carry on. Carry on. Oh, thanks. Okay, well, we will. Well, Terry was there for many laminate situations. He knows. I would also. The funny thing is that I never wanted to pre-make them and have them sitting around because I was like, I literally had to like force myself to make them. Like, oh, we're going to a show. I'll wait till the last minute, and then I'd be like up doing my thing, trying to make, like, as we're leaving, just going nuts, you know, like, because that's the way I'd like to work, of course. So a lot of times it was like we never knew if it was going to work at that moment in time. It was like, and I was always scared that it wasn't going to work, so I would like just procrastinate until the last minute, because then I could, you know, not be all stressed out that I have to figure out a new way or something. But usually it did. We had a pretty high success rate, though.
So were you not curing yours at all?
You mean after? Oh no, I was fucking making them and smoking them.
Wait, Adam cure something? He rolled it and smoked it?
No, we were always, and a lot of times because I was
why you've never been able to get a high quality one to burn.
You have to cure it.
Burn.
Yeah. What's that?
That's remember the story about the raisins and the grapes?
Oh, the old raisin story. We remember, Terry.
I think you might have your thumb on the microphone or something. We can't really hear you, Terry.
Sounds bad, Terry. Sounds bad, man.
Can you hear me now?
A little better.
No. So we
Anyway.
still haven't seen Jason roll a fucking hash wrap.
He's not rolling one now.
I thought because you're calling it a wrap. So I thought it was wrapped around something. So
it is. I mean, if you want me to, Adam can talk for another 5 minutes. I'll go make a sheet real quick and I'll come up here and roll it. All right.
There you go. Oh, there
do we really want that?
Service with a smile.
I will be back in a minute.
How about Alex tells us how you order these things?
Yeah, Alex tells us about his machine because he's got it opened. He's got an opening.
I mean, let it be clear, we don't sell these laminators.
No, I know you don't. I'm talking about your machine. I'm talking about your hash machine.
Yeah. Dave earlier was like he had the machine out. I'm sure he wants to talk about it.
Yeah, because I'm not the sharpest tack.
The machines we make are huge ice water extractors. Our biggest, the 85T, is a mammoth that can produce like up to 100 kilograms of rosin a month, and it's paired with a 1,000-liter tank, a cold water tank. So it's essentially we make large scale hash machines, and one of the things I wanted to make is a large scale hash wrap machine. And what we realized is there's just like the market is not there for it yet. It is for hash, but as with many things in this kind of niche hash solventless space that we live in, you have to kind of build it yourself. So my mission then became, how do we increase demand for these hash wraps? So, for the last year or so, that's what Jason and I have been doing, is we've been showing people how to make them, getting more people to make them. And I think through that, more people are going to start looking for them. Like in California right now, one of our customers, Gabe Green Thumb out there with the Standard Co. Cannabis guys, they're the only guys making hash wraps at a top tier level in California that I've seen that is available on the rec market. And so it's able to get them into a ton of dispensaries that they wouldn't otherwise have access to. They did a collab with Cookies on the hash wrap, and that one was phenomenal. They're doing pairings with flour in them as well. So I'm surprised that hasn't been your kind of MO. I guess you haven't been transporting them. I think when you're moving them around,
my whole thing, I think I entered it. So I entered in the cup one year. The first year that I entered them, I had a really simple drawing on the back where it said peel, roll, and enjoy, or something like that. And I had like a kind of real simple little thing. And it was funny to watch a bunch of Americans try to fucking figure it out. I was like, and then I realized, oh, this is going to be hard. Like, this is not as easy. Like, maybe I can do it. Because I was like, same thing. It was about temperature. I was like, I told people, like, put it in the freezer, take it out, zip it off, warm it up, roll it. You know what I mean? Because if you try to, like, if it's too warm, you ain't going to get it off properly. That's the first part. But you also, and the thing is, like, that's the one thing that it's, obvious when you're working with it. But if you, like, without a good freezer, it's almost impossible to do that kind of work, because you really have to be able to temper or have like a cold table or something like that, because it really does make a difference. Like temperature is like everything, So it was always nice, like throw things in the freezer, boom, now it's workable, pull it out. And so what I was doing was just try to make portable flat things that people could roll, because I realized if I rolled them and packed them and tried to give it to somebody, they'd usually break too, you know what I mean? Just because in the transport, because it was always hard like that.
Yeah, it's a challenge for sure. I mean, Gabe, he's got quite a system.
What's your packaging like for them?
So what he does is he's got these, first of all, they're really high quality spiral glass tip, and the spiral tip really helps cool down the smoke. But the spiral tip also comes down into a thin point. That's probably like a 9 mil, similar to the ones you get in the hash wrap kit. And then that sits into the lid of like a test tube holder, and the lid kind of keeps it centered. So the whole hash wrap is suspended in the middle of the tube. Right. And then those tubes are inside of a box where they're all standing up. And the boxes kind of has all the tubes laid out. But, you know, even with all this, they still have a ton of challenges in the supply chain. They end up having to comp a bunch of them because they, you know, the weak points right at where the hash wrap and the stem kind of meet.
Right. And also, what's that?
It's a bit like chocolate, the way if the temperature's wrong, it melts, and then you got a squeaky chocolate bar.
Hey, Terry, is it possible that microphone you're holding right there is not plugged into anything?
Can you hear me now? Is it better?
No. I mean, barely.
It's kind of the same.
It's not like it was earlier. Earlier, you had great sound.
Yeah, I don't know what you did.
I've got a waterproof phone, you see, and it's got like a weird microphone.
Is the phone in water?
That's because he dropped his blender in the water earlier, so he's got his phone safe. He's got his phone all safe mode now.
You need to stay away from electricity and water, okay?
Well, you know, the other thing, Alex, is that when you have people smoking it too, it's like you almost feel like you have to tell people, like, dude, you don't hold it like that, because you have to, like, they're holding it, they're squeezing it, like, oh no, he squeezed it, like, fuck. Yeah. It's like, so I've seen so many people,
even me, who should know better, you know, you have a couple hits off that wrap, and then you forget the thing you were just telling the other people about.
Yeah, so there's definitely a handling situation too, which is part of the problem of them too. Is like, it's crazy when you have the right people and the right everything. It's the best experience in the world. But the problem is if you're getting everybody all hyped up and then, like, it falls apart, because we've had that too, right, Terry? Where it's just like, fuck, and then the guy grabs it and then it's like, oh no, there it is, it's done. And that just, like, kills it, because then you're like in the corner breaking up your fucking thing, trying to fucking roll it into a joint or something. And it's like, boo. You know, so yeah, it's
the best is if it has a bit of plant material in it, and that keeps it together.
Tiny bit, like it's just like the quality can't be super A grade. It has to be like B plus.
Not the the bong hit, because it's like too,
all right, let's see what we got. Jason's coming. He's back.
So normally I would have my heat gun and keep the temperature, you know, kind of right at 100 degrees or 120 degrees. You know, like you said, you'd hold it in your hand, but really just having a heat gun, like, turned up and being able to keep the temperature of the air.
So what do you do? Like, turn it on, like, take the heat gun and put it on his back like that, and then hold it above it a little bit, or what do you do? What are you doing with it?
So there's, like, it's hard to see, but there's a stainless steel screen on the inside of there. But yeah, basically, you want to make sure that you have, like, a nice adhesion point, you know, kind of right on the glass tip. So I actually have a line on the stem right there to kind of tell you where to push the hash. But you just kind of squeeze the hash, you know, right down here on the tip part. I'm not really like squeezing around. You know, all my pressure is right here where the glass tip attaches the wrap. And so I was able to hear what you guys were talking about packaging and storage and the weak point. But there's a way that you can kind of package your hash into the parchment paper before you press that kind of makes it thicker at the pointers to the glass tip. And so if you can make it thicker there, then you have a better adhesion point. But yeah, you wrap it. I don't know how good my camera is, but you just basically wrap it around the cone, and then the cone pulls out, and then the metal screen ends up at the bottom of the glass tube, and then this thing pushes the screen right back to the perfect point. But this wrap right here, you know, we could go outside right now and smoke it. I mean, it's like lower quality dry sift. And then if you really want to make this seam, you know, come together nicely right here, you can take your tool. And then there again, you don't want to put pressure like all the way around, but then you just take this whole wrap and you put it on a table surface and you kind of press down on it, and it rolls that seam right into the hash, really nicely.
Yeah. That's the other thing I love about making all these hash things is that if you have the right, as long as you don't heat it up too much, or change it in any way, it kind of just is like clay where it keeps going back into itself, and you can kind of take all your scraps. Like I take my sheets that I'd have, and I take them apart, take all the scraps, put them back into the coffee grinder, hit them a couple times, make the last one out of whatever was left, so you didn't really lose. Because that was the problem too, is if you're making them and they were going through the laminator, a lot of times sometimes you get long ones, sometimes you get a little fatter ones, you know what I mean? And so I trim them down as I'd cut them out, and then I just take the scraps and either smoke them or try to recycle them if possible. And there was just some hash that recycled easily, and there was others that is impossible.
So Jason, you're going to have to do the whole segment over again, and this time turn the lights on.
Right. Yeah, I know. Well, so I'll tell you what. Let me get off.
I'm kidding. You don't have to do the whole segment over again.
Don't listen to Dave. Don't listen.
Dave, can we screencast and then have Jason narrate that video? It's a 1 minute. I don't know if we've got the
Send that link. You already did. Mark.
Yeah. Yeah, no, just have Mark start the video, and then Jason can, as long as you can see the YouTube on the live Zoom, because otherwise you'll be delayed if you're waiting for it to come up on YouTube.
Okay, so I'm on the live Zoom right now with you guys.
So the one that has all of us on it?
Yeah.
Can you see that one? Okay. So Mark, if you can play that video then.
Which video? Do you want me to play?
The one, the hash wrap instruction that you posted.
Okay. Hold on. Let me find it.
Nobody's been really chatting but us, so it's right there on the chat.
Oh, good.
Okay, maybe I don't see it.
You don't see the
so I
Brady
see you
bunch?
like on my screen. I've only been on Zoom. Maybe.
No, but he doesn't have. We don't have a window in Zoom. It's only on the show, right? So we have to get on the Zoom.
Here we go.
I don't see it either. There you go. Boom. Here it is. Yeah. Now you see it. Cool.
And then how do I make that the big one? Like right now, you're the biggest picture on my.
I never knew you could smoke them without stuffing them.
It's like packing hash in a bowl. Yeah.
Turn it off. The sound though, right? You want to turn the sound off?
Okay.
Put the sound off though.
Okay. I'm not
sure if you're getting video there.
Yeah, I know the video isn't popping up for some reason.
That's weird.
That's because you probably own the video and it knows it's going to YouTube and they hate us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or something Rosendogs did.
Yeah, it's
I'm pretty sure it's Rosendog.
Yeah. He's dead to me, by the way. I'm not saying his name anymore.
Here, I can download it and play it in another window, I think. So, here.
Mark is wicked smart.
Whatever, dude.
He can do it.
He'll figure this out.
We self-host a lot of these videos because they get deleted from, especially the instructional videos, they get deleted from YouTube and Instagram.
Huh. I pull it up and same kind
This one's deleted.
It doesn't like you.
Yeah.
You've been hanging out with us way too long, obviously.
Yeah, it's just the audio.
Yeah, that's
okay. Well, all right. Well, we'll check it out later. But it's all right. No,
I'll try something else real quick.
I could see it fine. You're gonna try something else? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I don't know why it's not. That's just really strange, actually. I'll try one more thing, anyways.
Gotta dump it into VLC, buddy. That's the only thing.
I got it on mine.
Okay, I'm just not prepared. I wasn't prepared for all that. All right, here we go.
You not prepared? Never. Come on, Mark. You're always prepared.
Hey, there
Boom.
we go. Never knew you
all right.
could.
So no sound.
It's like packing hash in a bowl. Yeah.
Okay. Boom. So you can narrate.
Narrate, Jason.
All right.
Narrate now. Dance, narrator.
Well, now it's no longer big. So that was it right there. So now it's like it's a tiny little bitty window.
Okay, let me tell you what I see, and then you'll tell everyone what's really happening.
Laminator. So that's my cheap $17 laminator from Walmart.
Yeah.
So my first laminator was a Scotch one, but yeah, that was the Moroccan peaches. That's bubble hash. So that's 25 to 45 microns. So that's me lighting one. That's the random crackhead guy.
We called this guy in. He kind of smelt the hash and he came coming.
Yeah,
I would have. Dave would have told him to turn his phone sideways. That's what I would have said.
Random homeless guy to bring in to smoke the hash.
So this was in California at the last Solventless seminar. We held at the Rosentech Labs there, and Jason came in and was like, they've been collecting their 25 to 45 micron for years. They've got like stockpiles, like filing cabinets of this stuff, and they haven't really been doing anything with it. And like Jason came in and was like, yep, this should work. And sure enough, we rolled a hash wrap that same day and smoked that outside with that 25U from some Moroccan peaches they had. It was phenomenal.
What are you mumbling? What are you mumbling over there, Terry?
The plant material binds it together and stops it from melting, and so then you can smoke it properly.
Well, the nice part too is that the edges are a little thinner than the middle. You know what I mean? So when you actually peel it off, those edges are like easier to connect to the other side. You know what I mean? They have the kind of natural. It's like a little bit of a perfect sort of edge. Because you got that edge, which is a little thinner, and so if it's sticky, it'll go bad. It'll stick down really nice. Yes, years of experience for you.
Different approaches, right, Jason? You
what?
Yeah,
Jason, you like those crisp edges on the end.
Whatever. I like it however it comes out.
Oh yeah, no, I get it. I get it. If it's nice and clean, it looks good. I mean, but at the same time, I always noticed that because it always was a little bit thicker in the middle and a little thinner on the edges, that when you rolled it, it kind of grabbed easier. You know what I mean? It wasn't so
natural taper.
Natural taper and kind of grab.
Natural taper.
Yeah, my sheets are uniform thickness, like across the whole side of them. So there is like if you do it in a press or you do the parchment paper fold technique that I have, then you do end up with two thin sides that do connect together pretty nicely. But yeah, I like the ones that look kind of organic and kind of are more artsy looking than the ones that look like a machine made them. So
have you tried cellulose?
Yeah, so I wrap mine. So the way that I keep mine in for shipping, I actually have a couple of examples here. So I normally pack them in glass tubes, but I just had these as some giveaways. And so what I do is I wrap them in cellulose. And so the cellulose paper is tightly wrapped, around the hash, like where it connects to the glass tip. And what I find actually, I don't know if the cellulose gives it a surface to kind of crystallize off of, but I can take a wrap and not wrap it in cellulose and another one and I leave it out. And the one hard, sometimes overnight. So that's like a little trick and tip to all you guys. Like people are wondering why I get these cellulose papers on. But I know it's nucleating. I mean, I can see it, see a crystalline structure forming. And so I don't know if that surface of the cellulose, gives it that starting point to start crystallizing and then it goes in. But this is one that's filled with flour. But then whenever I put it in the container, like the little tip of the cellulose that hangs over, you just catch it right there in the cap. And then, and then it keeps it suspended in there. It doesn't rattle around. It doesn't move. I mean, so what I'll do is I'll make a box of these and I'll throw them just like in a box and put them in my trunk or in my hatchback of my car. And then I'll go drive, around on farm roads and crap like that for a day or two with them, just like really giving them the treatment like they would probably get in shipping. And I never have any of them break, with my packing method. And then, you can dip them in wax, do whatever you want to kind of make them look a little bit nicer.
How do you light them?
How do I light them?
Yeah.
So I hold them straight up like a torch. So there's some rules to Hash Wrap Club. The first rule of Hash Wrap Club is don't touch the hash, especially after it's been lit, and keep it straight up. But yeah, I'll light it. I'll let
a flame torch. Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer a crack pipe torch. So that's how we found that guy. Is we were yelling out, "Does anybody have a crack pipe?" Lighter?
He's like, "I got one. I got one."
He comes out from behind the garbage, behind the dumpster. Like, "Yeah, I need a crack lighter." But,
Are you trying to kill me?
Yeah, no, I was leading to that earlier about the whole holding it up, because it's like that's the key to the. I mean, if you don't do that, it's guaranteed if it's going to probably be a problem.
So what we've learned is use a lighter and grab it right by the hash as hard as you can in the middle.
Yes.
So I even started making.
If you use a lighter, then you ignite the gases that are inside the trichome. So if you use an ember.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a shisha and they put the coal on the shisha and there's no flame. The heat.
Yeah, but who has an ember? Who the fuck has an ember?
Come on. You and Frenchie. That's how Frenchie used to do it in his thing. And he'd be like, "This is how you do it." And he'd take a big coal out, like everybody traveled with a coal.
Yeah, we
do.
The
lighter destroys the trichomes. There's something missing with the lighter. You need to not use flames and use an ember.
If you can,
what I've noticed is every time I consume hash, it destroys the trichomes. That's
that's all right.
For sure.
It's time for us to pay some bills and do
we got to
jump on.
We got to jump onto some sponsors, which we're going to talk to. We're going to be coming back to. What are you bubbling about now? What's going on over here?
Got to go into town to a techno party, so.
You better get ready. You better get ready, Terry.
Everyone, love you all, and it's good talking to you and catching up. And see you soon.
See you soon, my friend. Peace. And with we're gonna come back to ALEKS soon because last thing we said.
Yeah, you're gonna stay on and do your own ad.
We're going to talk some sponsorship, so you might want to do some ads. No, we'll definitely get you on soon again, and I'd love to get a machine down in Colorado because he's back. He won't go away. Terry won't leave us. Terry won't leave us alone.
Thanks a lot for having me on the
show. What happened now?
I'm trying to turn it off.
He's the worst. That's Terry in a nutshell right there. Anybody who knows him knows that, he's back. See, you can't get rid of him.
Oh, my gosh.
He can't turn his phone off. He doesn't know how. Terry, what are you doing?
Oh, boy. At least turn your phone sideways if you're going to pop in and out.
This was a lot of fun, though.
Oh, yeah. We like to have fun. We like to have fun, as you guys obviously do, too, since you sit around smoking grams of hash together. Yeah. So we know those are guys that like to have fun. Usually.
Yeah, would love to have you come out to our next Solventless seminar. Probably do another one in the fall. Yeah, we do
cool.
in LA, and
nice.
Yeah, you could do a little talk on the hash wrap. We'd love that.
Yeah, you could. What's funny is Jeff from Rosin Tech or whatever. He had the evolution of the rosin press at his place, and he had the laminator in his evolutionary sort of display. And he's like, "Dude, you invented rosin, bro, with your fucking laminator." Because whenever I would do the laminator, it would be blowing out all the time. But none of us were like thinking about the blowout part. I was always just like, "Oh well, that's for me, right?" So I would always scrape all the shit that would get blown out of these fucking laminates and stuff, and it would be like the stuff that I would smoke on the side after I'd give the thing away. And it was always like, "Oh, this is pretty good," but we didn't really, think about it. It was just kind of like, it was just a little, the edge of the thing was a little bit oily, but we never like put two and two together. I felt shitty later. I was like, God damn it, I could have invented rosin if I just thought about it. Because I remember later just going like, that's my fuck ups. Those were always my fuck up parts. You know what I mean? The blowouts. So there you go.
Another American
Mark, play some ads, Mark.
Another American invented bubblegum.
So High Cafe, sohighcafe.com. Come check us out at 4300 West Alameda. We got the Peanut Gallery here today. We are chilling. We got meats. We got brisket.
We got the meats. We got the meats.
We got the meats. We got brisket.
I don't think that one's taken. I don't think anybody said that yet.
No.
That has never been used in advertising ever before. You guys like barbecue? You guys are barbecue people? Oh, he's gone.
Oh,
no,
he's gone.
Alex,
all right,
no.
It's fine.
SoHighCafe.com.
Yeah, we got everything.
We were just getting to know you, Alex.
Hold on, I'm still here.
Ribs, brisket,
wings, mac and cheese.
Next time you're in Denver,
ribs.
Come by our spot.
And an assortment of soft drinks.
The high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So yeah, come check it out. So High Cafe, give him a call. Make sure that he's got some food for you, but he's most likely going to do 4300 West Alameda. So High Cafe.
How about we say goodbye to these guys so they don't have to hang around for all the ads?
Hi, Dan.
There you go.
You said you wanted to keep him on. You wanted to keep Alex on.
I'm keeping Alex hostage now until he gets me a machine. I'm
OzoCoffee.com. You go to ozocoffee.com. You enter Dunn Deal 24 at checkout. 20% off all of your coffee orders. Thank you, Rosin Dogs, even though you're dead to me, for posting a very nice post on Instagram that the only coffee you drink is Ozo Coffee.
I need something that's more than coffee.
Buildasoil.com.
855-877-SOIL. You can go to the website.
To see all the great companies that you're going to be hanging out with.
Yeah.
We're just priming you. So be like, wow.
Go to the website.
Haven't heard about any no rosin machines yet.
Find out what you want and then give them a call and tell them you heard about it on the Adam Dunn Show, and you will get a discount.
The best in organic inputs for sure, and globally available, which is awesome. So just give them a heads up that you heard about it on the Adam Dunn Show. You have to call in though if you want to do that, because we're not in the automated system. I don't know why, right? Not like we will be. Not like we were going to be with Alex. Alex is going to have it so automated. We're going to be like, "Oh, we sold 20 more machines, Alex." We're going to be so excited. It's going to be like these guys. I can't believe how good they are. Rosin Dogs has to buy one.
We are making a home model finally. So.
YoTip.com or Yo Products LLC on Instagram. I just got back from Barcelona. I smoked dozens and dozens of joints. And unlike Adam, I am not sick.
What's funny is that Soma, I gave him 4 of them, and he was like, I kept handing it back to him going, Soma, it's yours. You keep this tip. This is your tip. Yo tip. This is yo tip, Soma. Not my tip. Yo tip.
It's like a garden hose handle on a garden hose. It just makes the joint hit better, even when you're smoking by yourself. But the beauty of it is, it's a layer of protection against Spannabis flu, Spannabis cough, Rook flu, and many, many others. I didn't get it, okay? Look at Adam. Sick as a dog because he was smoking joints without a yo tip. Why? I don't know, but that's just the way it is.
Because Dave didn't give me enough. It's
an amazing product. You want to pick some up right now, but we'd also love to hear about what dispensary you shop at, especially if it's a medical dispensary. So get in touch with us and we'll introduce them to yo tips.
greenfarmsmed.com.
You go to Green Farms Med, and the first thing you do is you tell them they need more weed in the joint on their page. But after that, you're going to see about 800 different products on his shelves, from everything from edibles to pre-rolls to organic flour to concentrates. You name it, he's got it. You got to be a medical patient. You go to greenfarmsmed.com, place your order, enter Dunn Deal at checkout, or just tell them you heard about it on the Adam Dunn Show.
Green Bros.
All right, these guys want your business right now.
These are your guys, Alex. This is your zone. Stainless steel, all stainless, made in Vegas. The best trimming machines, the best grinders, large scale grinding machines. Also great for making hash and things. But these guys do it all. They also have this holy roller, which is
Yeah.
One of the most impressive.
You guys are a veteran-owned company too, I think.
Which one? Green Bros?
Yeah,
I don't think Green Bro. Possibly if Cullen is. I don't know if Cullen was. He might have told us because
could be swinger. He could be a swinger.
Yep. You never know. So you go to greenbros.com. You tell them you heard about it on the Adam Dunn Show. 5% off any big ticket item or 10% off the Harvest Bucket, which is a must-have for the home and small scale grower. It just makes things easier. It's greenbros.com.
Stop tricking your friends.
Apothecary Farms. If you're into concentrates, you want to go to Denver and Oklahoma's concentrate-focused dispensary, where they have Max Out Mondays. And right now, they just got done with the big sale, but I just got another thing for another sale right now. So they always got good sales, good prices, great product. Apothecary Farms. Tell them you heard about it on the Adam Dunn Show. Dabx.com.
Oh, shit.
The best dab rig on the market right now if you're not going to use a torch. Okay, we love this product. Introduced it to so many people. You're going to see it in French distribution, German distribution, in Barcelona, in Amsterdam. It is really changing the way you take an electronic dab. The vapor does not share the same path as the Reclaim. It's easy to clean, it doesn't goop up, and it hits fantastic. So you go to dabx.com, you enter Dunn Deal at checkout, and you get 20% off. There you go.
Yes, sir.
14erboulder.com.
Hash holes now available. Okay, so you go to 14erboulder.com, you place a pre-order, you all you have to do is type in Dunn Deal in the promo field. It'll take a discount off. Somebody should just go there because it's more than 10%. At least it seemed like more than 10%.
Dude, what are hash holes?
14erboulder.com. Enter Dunn Deal at checkout. The rosin is superb. Yeah, it's amazing. I'll bring him next week. Oh,
nice.
Fuck you, Mark.
Oh, okay.
I love you, Mark.
Okay, great.
14erboulder.com.
14erboulder.
KawaiHempCo.com.
KawaiHempCo.com. Done deal at checkout. 10% off. I'm pretty sure it's still working. Amazing organic CBD hemp oils shipped from Kauai.
Right.
Taking Top's Cannabis. We actually had him stop in the studio today.
Was he here? Was he hanging out? Was he there?
Yeah, he stopped by. TakingTopsCannabis.com. Check it out. Check out his links. Find him on Discord. Check out the Duncan Dabbers page on Facebook and get a touchdown.
That's right.
So you want to go to stundenglass.com, enter Dunn Deal at checkout. You actually get 23% off your order. This thing hits fucking amazing. So stundenglass.com, get yourself the double glass infuser with the vapor attachment and enter Dunn Deal at checkout. Get the one with the steal your face.
Yeah, you want the attachment because then you can buy also the separate thing. You saw that little deal they have.
Yeah, attachment.
Pretty cool. Looks pretty cool.
Stundenglass.com.
Take it for a spin.
Great. The battery's great on them too. So for traveling, that'd be dope. The battery's
dope.
You see what I did there?
Dope.
Heats up all quick.
We did.
That's fine.
What'd you do?
I said take it for a spin.
HortitechDirect.com. The best greenhouses, double walled. All the mechanical is on the inside layer, so it's not affected by the elements. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. You find another greenhouse that will have minus 70 degrees outside for 3 solid days and be able to keep 72 degrees inside your greenhouse with 50-mile-an-hour winds. So you go to HortitechDirect.com, then you give them a call, tell them you heard about it on the Adam Dunn Show. You're going to get 5% off your greenhouse and 6 of those amazing trim brushes right there.
6, not 5, not 7, 6.
You might get 8, okay? So you go to HortitechDirect.com.
Terpwipes.com/DunDeal.
That's all you need to do.
I'm running out. I'm running down. I'm down to
I got some. I'll see. I bring.
No, I mean with me
some.
on this trip. I mean on this trip. I have more at home. But on this trip, I'm down to. Ooh, they come in handy. Let me tell you, when you're cleaning up your hotel rooms.
Max Cannabis uses it for crayons. Takes kids' crayons right off the wall.
I controversially use it for record cleaning.
Whoa, that seems a bit aggressive.
Herpwipes.com/done deal. Bio365. Bio365.com.
Wow.
Send an email to tim@bio365.com. Tell him what you're using. He will match and make a soil blend for you. So that's all you have to change is the soil, and you will see. He's going to send you a pallet worth, and you're going to love it, and you're going to buy it again.
For soil and space, too.
For soil and space. Bio365.com. If you're a deadhead, give them a try. It's a Bob Weir partially owned company, so keep the money in the deadhead community.
Numbnuts.
Numbnutsco.com. Adam went out to Cannabis. I did not see him, but I heard he was out there.
No, and then you were talking about him, and then that guy was coming over doing the artwork, and I'm like, is that what happened when he goes outside of the country? He turns into that guy? Because I was confused. You were like, "Bye, he's here," but then you remember what I'm talking about? The guy who's drawing all the things on the dollar bills. I thought you were saying that was him when he walked in.
No.
I know.
He was drawing my face on one. He kept staring at me. I never did get to see. I never saw it.
He drew me too. And
I
never got.
Maybe we'll see it. He'll wind up in an email. He'll wind up sending it to us for something.
Get CBD infused nut butters sent directly to your house, or hit the Find Our Nuts and get the THC tub, 1,000 milligram THC tubs of infused peanut butter. Numbnutsco.com.
That's right.
BreckenridgeOrganicTherapy.com. Enter Done Deal at checkout. Tell everybody about it, even if you're standing online.
SunscapeLED.com.
That's right. He's going to be about to install a bunch of them at my spot soon. I can't wait. Lights are built to last, and
does that mean we'll see it on the Patreon videos?
Is there a doctor?
We will be seeing them on the Patreon videos. Exactly.
That's another reason to subscribe to Patreon.
Also, if you have the controller from them, I think it's called literally like the R2D2 or something like that. They are completely spectrum tunable, which is awesome. So you can adjust spectrum or whatever you might need, and they are rated like super high as far as quality when it comes to any kind of cleaning and ability to stay. They are easy to wipe down. Great lights. We'll be seeing them on Patreon. So you guys, if you are a Patreon listener, keep an eye out. I'll be installing them next week.
SunscapeLED.com.
Boom, boom.
JeromeBaker.com. I've been showing off the Nitro Bong a lot to all my friends lately. It's been pretty awesome. They're excited to look at it and see.
Do they have any Nitro Bongs in Canada yet, Alex? Huh?
He doesn't know what a nitrous oxide infused dab rig is.
Infused dab rig. So nitrous assisted.
Nitrous assisted.
You guys got those yet?
No.
Okay, we'll talk next week when we work out your advertising on the show.
We need to get some up there.
Yeah.
Right, Vinny?
That's
JeromeBaker.com.
The
Vindicator.
The Vindicator. Yes,
the Vindicator.
Sir. Yes, sir. But Jerome Baker, if you don't know them, then you're not into glass, and you're not into weed, and you don't know nothing. No, they're the OGs. And
OGs.
We love Jason.
We love him.
JeromeBaker.com.
That's right.
Welcome to SeatsHereNow.com. March is here and we're springing into action with tons of fresh deals on what?
Wait, hold on a sec. Mark, Alex,
Cannabis
Mark
seeds.
is doing this completely from memory. Would you let him know if you think he's reading or not? Because we've been critiquing this for years. I think it sounds totally like off the cuff, not reading. Go ahead, Mark.
Every order secures a freebie distribution choice. Plus, enjoy 20% off on all TH Seeds packs and lemon-flavored seed strains all month long. Stay tuned for our weekly sales all month long. SeedsHereNow.com, the gold standard of genetics.
And James Bean did the Danny Danko show.
Everybody stand back. Don't panic. It's organic. Everybody stand back. Don't panic. It's organic.
Yeah.
That's right. We love you too.
You know,
James.
Danny Danko told me personally that it's his mission to take every single advertiser we have on the show and make them
we have
his.
so many. I know.
Yeah.
But he can't do it because his show's only half an hour. How could he do the ads? our ads are half an hour. That's that'd be his whole show. He wouldn't even be able to and that's it.
I'll send him that little
That's why we have a
clip
3-hour
somehow.
show, because we do 30 minutes
You
of
need to
ads.
find that little clip
Because
and
we have
send it to him.
because we love every single one of these people. We always work with people that we love, right, Alex?
Yep.
See,
I mean, we talk about you for extended periods of time.
We're priming Alex now. We're like,
That's right.
Yes.
CaesarNow.com.
No. And of course, the Adam Dunn Show. If you want to support the show, go to the website, buy some gear. That would be cool.
Buy some gear. There's old THC gear. Gear.
Speaking of old THC gear, I found I was in the room today with all the crazy stuff. So I was like digging through boxes of just like collections from 15 years ago and stuff. So it's pretty dope. I'm coming back with some cool shit.
You got the hemp nut
coming
wars?
back.
You got a bunch of hemp nut wars?
I got drop seeds, nut bombs.
I like that one.
Close.
Shit!
That's close.
Shit. Yeah, you know.
Yep.
So, once again, thank you. Oh, Cece got to go see her friend Lena, who did all those designs there, the skulls and stuff. So they got to.
Oh, cool.
Those are all limited edition stuff. But
Looks like you're wearing
thanks
some
everybody for
limited edition
joining
shit.
us, Alex, for hanging in there through our entire ads. I can't believe you did it. Good job.
Through your ads, they weren't bad. I recognize most of those companies.
Oh, well, there you go. Every single one of those are highly vetted by us. So you should check into them all. Check into all of them, because they can all be definitely help you guys out in Canada. I think none of those are not going to help you. And I think most of them are legal, except for the dispensaries, of course. We can't really bring the weed over yet, but we'll see. So yeah, cool. Thanks for
now, Adam. I thought you were in Amsterdam permanently.
Oh no, I'm in Denver.
No, they let him back into the United States.
I came for a week. I'm in Denver. So when I get back there, though, we'll link up, and I'll use the tools you gave me from Jason, and we'll talk further about other cool shit for sure. Because I'm down to make some hash with your machines.
What are you doing in Canada? What are you doing?
They look good. I like the tilt one a lot. I was like, ooh, that's fucking smart. I was like, there you go. Now that's working smarter, not harder, for sure. Because maybe I don't need that big of a machine yet, but this definitely was. Looked like if you're doing some serious work, that's because it's always about the lifting and the fucking. It's like, you know. The whole thing about making hash in general is always like 20-gallon bags. You need two people, you know what I mean? Just out of one, or you need a hoist, or you need a table, or you need a lift table, or so it's always like that's the
labor-intensive process and often very frustrating. I know most people's first time making ice water hash is one of the most frustrating experiences they know. You know, in terms of yields,
especially
than expected, not knowing,
especially all live and all frozen and stuff. Just like, oh shit, you're like, okay, this is not quite what I was thinking, but once you get the rhythm, it definitely works, you know. And especially if you have some real smart shit like you guys got, I can see that making it a little less frustrating.
Well, I'm looking forward to when Adam has one and we can do a whole, Patreon series of him running one.
Because when we do a Patreon, we show everybody what's going on. So it'd be great. We can definitely
go deep.
We can go even deeper. So
hell yeah, let's do that. I mean, it's an easy system to use. It's easy enough to use where we took one out on a frozen lake up here in Northern Ontario a few weeks ago and filmed a whole video of us making hash on a frozen ice lake.
Of course.
Just using the ice from there? Or what?
We pumped water from the lake. We were on about 8 inches of ice on top of the lake. We had a whole generator out there. It was a whole production, but
pretty epic.
It can be done. And we pulled over 100 grams of dry hash equivalent out of there. We ran 20 pounds fresh frozen in the 50A.
Nice.
There you go. Sounds good. All right. Well, we'll talk soon, Alex. Thanks for coming through.
What time is it in Amsterdam now, Adam? Like 3 in the morning?
3. It's like 3. Yeah.
Thank you, Alex, for coming in.
Thanks for having us on, guys.
Yep.
Hey, thank you. Yep. And Jason, too, of course.
So no Patreon tonight?
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on.
No.
No, I don't have. I have. We're gonna do. We'll go double Dugan next week or something. We'll just
Oh, good.
do a Patreon pre. We'll do a Patreon pre-show. Is what we'll do next
Yeah, there
week.
you go.
We'll do a pre and a post. We'll do a pre and a post. How's that for fucking
Thank you, Mark and Vinny.
service for the spoil? Thanks, Vin. Thanks, guys.
Peace.
All right,
Thanks,
peace.
thanks, Terry, for coming through, and thanks all the listeners, and thank you, Amsterdam, for still being here.
There you go.
Peace out, guys.
We have to go. Good night, everybody.
40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove.
We don't want you to smoke genetically modified ganja. We want you to smoke the real thing. Want you to smoke the natural herb. Some call it marijuana. Some call it sesame. Some call it Amsterdam. And some people call it.
Later.